bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we bring to fall the giants?
going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's broadcast for the Cyto Combine. We are now on day 16 as we reach the very end of the Combine. Just a couple more days of games left. We are into that week 3 format with the limited champion pools, the limited bans. Going to see how these players are able to perform on some of the most staple meta champions available. My name's Gordo. I'm joined by TDS on the cast today. TDS, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm excited. I haven't been here in the Cyto Combine for a while now. It's been a while since I've seen a couple of these players as well, and I know it's been really good getting to showcase most of what this teams or these players in multiple teams have been able to show so far in the Cyto Combine. Obviously, adding to the mix the fact that Worlds is in between, you get a ton of action, and I think a lot of these players have really taken the opportunity here to show up in a lot of different ways for multiple people to see them.
Yeah, definitely had some unique breakouts over the course of this combine, and players that are going to have a little bit more of a close eye on them over the course of the next couple of months as we get into the off season. And going to be the same case here today. Looking at the two lineups down below, you're going to see who's going to be on each side for tonight's set of 3 games. I think of particular note, Shogo, who's come in a little bit later, played a few fewer games than most of the participants at this combine, but has been putting up a real respectable 8-3 record so far. He's top in the DPM charts, he's top in the KDA charts, he's top in the kills per game charts. He has really been on a tear for the combine so far. Let's see if he's going to be able to keep it up here today, facing off against Enthralled and Protoss at the bottom lane.
Yeah, of course, and it's not an easy bottling to go against. I think Enthralled and Protos obviously have a lot to go with them. That being said, Shogo is also playing with Cryogen. You can't have like a better duo to really go into certain things as far as Cryogen goes in that regard. And I'm also like just as bottling looks to be really interesting with a lot of what has been happening recently in Worlds, where bottling seems to be such a big focus for almost everyone in the map. Looking at the junglers is going to be important as well. And obviously, you have on one side Gizno that has already impressed a lot previously playing in different tournaments. NACL, ACL has been already looking impressive so far this year, and obviously in the Cyto Combine the same as well. But U13 is one of those players that I've been hearing a lot that has been impressive for a lot of the teams watching and a lot of the coaches watching as well. And he's been really or how to put it, like he's been a highlight for most people in a way that I don't think a lot of people were expecting. So I'm excited to see him going against Kizno in this manner as well.
Yeah, you can see already both of these teams taking full use of those
Yeah.
one champion outside of the pool requirements. Is the Seraphine coming on through for Protoss in the bottom lane to pair on up with this Ashe and create that really strong more guaranteed root duo, and the Kog'Maw coming in for Shogo to try to play it a little bit further range and get into that hyper carry play style that he does love so much. You
Yep.
can't go on to things like the Jinx, you can't go on to things like the Aphelios with this champion pool, but he wants the rock, he wants to be able to play one of his hyper carries. He's going to snap up the Kog'Maw for this game number 1.
Yeah, having those hyper carries down there on the bot side, it's what we were talking about as well with the potential of what they can try and show. One of the things that I dislike though about having a hyper carry like Kokma without any enchanter really is that you end up being a sitting dog, especially against champions like the Yone, the Wukong, and the Rumble that can just press R and get to you and kill you really quickly. It's going to be a really important showcase by pretty much Cryogen here on the Poppy, which I'm assuming that's where the Poppy will end up going. That it's going to be really important for them to be able to push away the engage and try and protect this AD carry. So there's going to be a really strong need for the bot lane to work together really effectively this game.
Yeah, there really is. So we'll find out how these two duos are going to look in their first matchup up
Yeah.
against each other tonight. Going to kind of set the tone for how the rest of tonight's matches are going to play out, as we are going to get to see 3 head-to-heads of these two sets of players, and it's going to be already getting off label a little bit on the matchups with how they've decided to use their flex picks so far. So otherwise, Yone versus Azir, a matchup that we've gotten to see a fair bit of. I'm very excited to see Shochi on the Yone. I think this is a pick that
Yeah.
he's looked very good on in the past. I really love to see him on these kind of AD solo carry kind of champions, especially in a season where on Dorado Gaming playing with Ariana, who's going to be on this blue side for game number one. He's leaned a little bit more into the supportive style, playing a lot more Gallios, a lot more Annies, stuff like that. I love to see him on these sorts of individual carries like the Yone, though. So very excited to see how this matchup's going to go. They got themselves a pretty solid Wombo team comp, all things considered,
Yeah.
with this Rumble, with the Wukong, with the Seraphine. The limitation on bans really letting you craft some of these really powerful sets.
Even the thickness of the peak potential is going to be really nice to see as well if possible, and the Enchanter Crystal Hour is going to be amazing to just try and lock down a certain target from a safe distance and follow up with Engage as well. So overall, like you're mentioning, the team comp just working out really massively there.
Yeah, for sure. So looks like we should be getting into game here before too long, as I did just hear over the comms from production. So looking forward to kicking off this first one. Other things to note, I mean, looking at this matchup, I think the jungle matchup in particular going to be a spicy one here, as
Yeah.
Kisno facing off against U13. Kisno, I think, has really established himself over this year as one of the top prospects in the NACL. Really excited to see where he goes in 2026 and how he builds on what has been a really, really strong split for him. But facing off against him, U13, I think, is kind of the top prospect or one of the top prospects coming up in tier 3 right now.
Yeah.
Not a player that I think is in consideration for NACL right now. At least I think it would be a surprise to see him there, at least to begin 2026. But I think very high on people's lists as a player that could get there over the course of 2026 if he's able to keep up this level of performance. Been playing with Weber State, really been a major part of that team and the success they've been able to find over the last year and change, and a player that is starting to get a lot more eyes outside of the collegiate sort of
Yeah.
environment, and a player that people are starting to talk about as a candidate to play in tier 2 comp.
Yeah, and you mentioned the potential of him not necessarily being at the start of it as one of those potential players to move into an ECL. We do have something cooking up later on, for as far as I remember, over at the South Mind with some of these players, and I can tell you, at least on my side, I am eyeing a lot U13 because I think that his like Rice is one of those players that I would be willing to really throw into the fire and go into that next step if possible. Because I think that his individual showcase so far has been really good. But then also, like you were mentioning, the fact that he gets to be in Weaver State with a lot of ex-pro players, like it's not only the fact that he's been playing with really good players, it's ex-pro players that also are like enabling him to start getting that experience from a really, really early development stage is really ideal for him. And I think that all that combined will boost like his impulse towards NECO really quickly. I would say like he can be really quick to join it, especially depending on how some of the things may end up moving. Because jungle is one of those positions in NA that I do think NECL has a lot to offer, and the teams can try and look into opening up spaces for other junglers to come in from down there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that set up, let's see who is going to be able to come out on top in this first game. It is looking like a lot of players may have streamer mode on, so hopefully that is not going to cause any issues for the spectate client. Do know that there's a
Hopefully.
few bugs to be had in that one, but to clarify for anybody who maybe missed the introduction to the teams, this is Shogo over on Team A playing the Kog'Maw, and then it is Shochi and Enthralled playing the Yone and the Ash, respectively.
Yeah, it should be pretty straightforward who they're playing. Funny that streamer mode has given us so many things and then has taken us so many things like, away from us as well in the process, but it should be fine, I guess, as really good ward there. And Ash is just by a wall. I think they were just not in a good enough spot to be able to connect into any sort of play there. And it's also going to be Kog'Maw opting into a little bit more of the poke build here. It's not a bad build, but it is something that Shogo has been more willing to play in this sort of situation, especially also since you already have a lot of physical damage in the top lane and jungle.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see how they're going to be able to play through those sorts of situations throughout this game, as could potentially get pretty difficult for them. There is some exchanges of blows up in that top side here, as I do think I seem to be losing a little bit of my stream feed here, but I will see what I can spot on out. TDS, you want to take over for a moment?
Yeah, no problem. As we see a lot of the trading down there in the bot side, the range being really, really valuable there, and you see the trading of summoners already as well in the process. But in reality, a lot of this comes from the fact that you are playing against an Ashe and a Seraphine. A lot of the range is really meaningful in terms of what they can accomplish to just mess up with the Kog'Maw. And also, Cryogen playing the Poppy doesn't even have a straightforward way of engaging unless they go for this, which is a really good engage into the wall, and Ashe taking a lot of damage, but the counterpunch is not bad at all either.
Yeah, thinking I may have gotten my Discord a little sorted out here. We'll hope that that stays the case as this game goes on, but I'm back, at least for the time being. It looked like a big exchange in that bottom lane.
Oh,
K falling incredibly low, though. Ariana with a potential solo kill opportunity. Not going to expend the flash here. Going to be a little bit more conservative with that usage for the time being, but K falling incredibly low and has to watch out for any kind of all-in from Ariana for the next couple of minutes.
and realistically, it's off of just trading because there was no teleport usage coming in from Orianna, nothing from the junglers just yet. You can see in the minimap how both of them are really far away even from the top lane at this point, and it's really just out trading the Rumble in a lot of the situations. Really well done by Orianna there in that position. As Mini also doing a really good job at trying to pressure Shogo in the mid, or sorry, Shochi in the mid lane, and doing a really good amount of damage to the Yone.
Yeah, absolutely. Ariana keeping that pressure on here. Going to look to build up a CS lead off of it. K going to be under tower for the time being, and the teleport having already been utilized means he cannot afford to get another bad trade like that. A little cheater recall coming through from Ariana here as well. We'll see if he wants to expend his TP or if he thinks he's going to be able to just walk it back in time. We'll use it. We'll have that item advantage. Gets a sword and a null magic mantle. And an interrupt on the recall from
Nice.
Shogo onto Enthralled. Going to make it even tougher for him to be able to get back here in time. Some nice wave control established for Shogo and
And
Cryogen.
another one.
Another
Wait,
interrupt. Here comes Cryogen looking to close out onto it. The root from Protoss will be what saves his life, but Flash expended off the back-to-back greedy recall attempts from Enthralled.
yeah, really attempting to take advantage off of that teleport, as it's something we didn't touch much on, but there's a lot of teleports over here in this game. At the very least, there's going to be multiple plays all around the map. Even Cryogen can attempt to go for a teleport play thanks to having the spellbook. But yeah, because of the amount of times that they stopped it, now the back timing is going to be better, Ariana.
I mean, Yu's coming
Something
up
to push
here to
away.
try to get involved, but yeah, it's tough for him because Enthralled's tanky enough and he doesn't have access to Cyclones, so really kind of just making sure that this wave crashes in, but not going to have too much of a lasting impact on Ariana's state.
Yeah, not going to achieve much in terms of just messing up Ariana, especially with the way that the wave was also set up here, as K has to be careful with every attempt at pushing, because when he reaches level 6, the equalizer can try and be set up in a way that you can actually mess up quite a bit on Ariana. But it is something that you still have to be careful about, as Kisnell hasn't been attempting much to go into the lanes, only stealing some of the jungle, so he is ahead of U13 at this point, as trading wise, Ariana needs to be careful as well now, thanks to a lot of the damage that K has been able to deal.
Yeah, the danger zone for K could certainly give him enough damage on the Flame Spitter to trade it back, but Ariana dipping and diving in and out. He just dangled out the public execution there. I can see the ultimate on cooldown
Yep.
already. Did not connect onto K, or at least forced the flash because of it. A nice exchange for Ariana there. You'll spend that ultimate to blow flash any day.
Yeah, Flash is down, and also now there is a slight chance that we may see a gank attempt up there in the top side with Gizno already hovering there, but it looks like both top laners trying to set themselves up to back away, so it doesn't look like there's this play going to happen up there in the top side, at the very least not for now. And in the process, because of the time that they have spent moving around a lot on the map, U13 now getting a little bit of a look into the dragon here, maybe attempts to go for it with a push into the bot lane, and then also Shochi here being able to exert pressure onto Mini as well. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Mini feeling good about his ability to trade back those steps up into the Soul Unbound to make sure he's going to be able to return blows with those soldiers. Still, U13 pretty much uncontested here. Enthralled and Protoss have a nice push going for them with their range advantage in the bottom lane. They're going to just keep that shoved on in to make sure that this dragon is easy pickings for U13. He will be able to close it out. Prob's going to be next on the menu, of course, but for the time being, plenty happy with being able to secure that first objective, and we'll have time to be able to reset and regroup for the next objective. Recall's already being channeled here by Enthralled. You can see he's learned his lesson. Look how far back away he's recalling this time.
Yeah, decided that it's not worth to actually just stay in the bush instead of going to go farther away to be able to back away here. But with the push, they are bound to lose a couple of minions here. Actually, Protoss may be in a top spot. He actually has to use the heal. K already coming down here, so they are going to make the trade to try and get into position to get control over of the grubs. But with the timing that they are going for, it's still going to be enough for
Oh.
both Shochi and Les K. Actually stops the back
He,
here.
he gets them to stop the recalls. There's so much time still, though, and he's going to lose a fair bit of HP for this still. No lane swap coming on through. Ariana still up there in the top lane, and they're going to choose to shove in another wave. This is going to mean that Shogo and Cryo cannot get up there in time for these grubs. A flash in from Cryogen. They're going to try to just get a kill in the 2 versus 1, and they will find it. First blood to Shogo off a snap engage by Cryogen, and a swap over to TP for Cryo means he will be here for the grubs. They're going to get this fight started. Ariana diving forward onto Protoss, will be able to take him out. Cryogen will arrive shortly, and cross-map Team A looks to get everything. It's 2 plates into Shogo, it's control over the top side, and it's 2 kills.
Just like that, the game broke really quickly. It's a kill for Shogo. It's a kill for the best up there in the top lane. Really good engage coming in by Kizno and Ariana to follow up as well. And then it's just taking advantage of the missed timings coming in by Team B, because K in the bot side not respecting the flash engage by Cryogen. I kind of understand in the way that Cryogen was really low, so looking at that angle was a little bit risky, but it works out massively there. Able to find a kill for Shogo in that situation is so good. And then trying to go blindly into a bush when you know that you have something like a Seraphine, which is not tanky, it's quite squishy and doesn't even have level 6. If they get engaged on, they were going to die, and that's exactly what ends up happening to Team B in that position. Really good engage decision, really nice turnaround that they are able to pull off, and it also, the grubs at the end, they haven't spotted yet, so, or actually no, they did, they just secured them. I wasn't able to look at it on the side. Yeah, they got the grubs as well on the pros in the side, so everything just going in the favor of Team A.
Yeah, it feels very good to be the side of Team A right now, thanks to what they were able to accomplish here. Nice little bit of harass coming through on towards Enthralled's Ashe. They are going to try to keep that pressure on for as long as they can. So far, first item picked up by Phi Mini as well. He is able to get onto that Nashers too, so in a good position to be able to trade with Shochi if necessary, but I mean, it's going to be a while before these guys need to really duke it out once again. Dragon going to be up here in about 2 minutes. That's the next objective to really have to play for. It is AP Kog'Maw, by the way, for Shogo, working on a lost chapter in addition to those early Sork shoes. And those early shoes make the difference right there, managing to outpace the beat drop from Protoss. Okay, taking another rough trade up against Ariana there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of that decision comes off of the fact that Kizno and Ariana are both playing physical damage champions, so having that Kog'Maw poke from a safe distance can be really important. Also, I thought Cryogen was going to get over the wall there. Also, I do think that having to worry about the engage, because U13 and Shochi's engage can be really risky to try and deal with as a Kog'Maw, probably playing off of the fact that you're poking from a safe distance can mean that they're not going to be as healthy when they engage on you, and then something like the Azir or 5 minute. Oh, Rihanna!
Oh, diving forward, Ariana will find a 1v1 kill on Decay. Well done by him to be able to walk away with the feats of warfare, as well as that additional gold. A tough start for K on this Rumble, has been struggling in the 1 versus 1 against Ariana all game long, and Ariana manages to cash out.
Yeah, it really has not been the most ideal there for K so far, and Ariana able to just keep showing up with that Mbessa in the best manner possible, as pushing on every lane, trying to get as much control as possible over the map. And the response by Team B has been very lackluster so far. I'm thinking maybe they are looking for that one team fight when everyone has a first item and they can look into a proper fight altogether. But it's going to be difficult to try and play around that, because when you're this far behind already, so early on, you're giving the space for the other members to be able to get much more value. They are getting the second dragon of the game though, and it looks like they want to try and put more pressure up here in the top side with 5 mini in mind.
Yeah, definitely. It's a Hex Flash back from Cryo, and they do get an engage here onto Shochi. He thought
they
he was
kill?
fishing with the slashing strike, but he will be punished. Protoss throws on down the Encore, trying to create space for Shochi to get away, but Kizno is all over him. Lands another wind,
It's
becomes
enough.
lightning. One more stab will do it, and Kizno puts himself on the board. Shochi falling off an attempted poke on this Yone, loses most of his health in the Soul Unbound.
Yep, just like that, they are able to find so much value out of it, and it's going to be another turret, actually, yeah, second turret of the game. I'm not sure why it looked like it was the second one, but it's first turret of the blood, first turret of the game going in their favor, and then also getting the 5 plates out of that turret. Some to Ariana, some to 5 mini. That's a huge amount of gold they are getting in the process, and they are able to not only maximize the value out of their Asir in that position, but also they even are getting closer to those bits of strength or bits of war. One of the two that they can maxify. Oh,
Oh,
again.
there is another public execution connecting from Ariana. Not quite able to finish off the kill onto K.
They both are
TP
here.
being channeled. This is Shochi arriving to try to bail out his boy, but there are more members of Team A here and waiting. K throws out the equalizer. This should have the effect of clearing out the wave, protecting the turret for reinforcements to arrive, but K still going to be low on HP either way. And it looks like Protoss and Shochi not feeling confident in their ability to defend, at least going to hang back until the minion wave comes through. Soul Unbound letting Shochi scout out with relative security. And Team A does move away. They do set their recalls. They do get back up topside for Ariana, knowing that TP is down.
Yeah, they have a really good advantage here, and knowing that TP is going to be down for a couple of these members. Really, the only TP left is Case, and technically Cryogens whenever he cycles back into the teleport, but oh, they really want to kill Shochi here.
Yeah, Cryogen just has this Keeper's Verdict or the Steadfast Presence active, trying to get himself a knockdown on towards Shochi. Shochi wisely holds on to his abilities for as long as he needs to be able to keep himself safe for the duration. And now it's just going to be recalls coming out across for Team A, wanting to make sure that they're going to be at full strength for the Rift Herald fight that potentially comes up. Shogo getting chased down, has to flash away from the Encore. Shochi on top of him,
so close.
will not have enough damage though. Shogo stays alive.
That was really, really close in that position. Really nicely played by Shochi to try and force onto there. And knowing that Kog'Maw is going to be such an easy target to try and commit to, they are able to save themselves by the skin of their teeth in that position. But in general, really nice play to at the very least try and force something in their favor. Because when you look at the gold lead, Team A is still much farther ahead in this position, and also able to potentially get something of more meaningful value if they can just keep pushing the issue like this.
They certainly could. So far, a nice 4K gold lead to Team A off of what have been some really solid plays around the map. And I really do want to give a lot of credit to Ariana for this game. He has done so much to hold K down. That's where the early lead on a Shogo comes from because of that flash expended earlier. That's where the lead for Ariana, of course, comes from in his individual laning and the execution they're able to have around the top side. Now they're going to get themselves on a Rift Herald as well. It's all come through this Ambessa in the early game and the really nice laning phase that Ariana's brought to the table, and that has really served him so well throughout 2025.
Yeah, it has been the difference maker so far, and has been a difference maker in a lot of different games. Being able to yeah, she has no flash. Yeah.
He's cooked. He is cooked. No flash, no cleanse either. Opting for the TP on this Kog'Maw. So will fall with relative ease when Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands home. First kill of the game for Team B, and well deserved. Shogo cannot be there.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's pretty straightforward the way that they can engage in those positions, and it's also a good way to try and claw back the gold lead that is against them. Because realistically, you look at the difference, and it's this sort of plays that you need to look for consistently to really find more in your favor. That being said, it's not impossible for the side of Team A and particularly Shogo to be able to play around that, especially with Flash, but it's the kind of plays that we need to see more out of Team B as turret is going to fall down. I think Shochi is not going to be able to collect this turret here just because Ariana did arrive, and it's only mid lane that is still remaining. Oh, that's a lot of
Ariana's
damage.
going to keep this fight going. I mean, it's going to be a nice return here. Ooh, great immune on the public execution from Shochi, though. Snaps back in just the right moment to eat that ability. So no ultimate available for Ariana as both parties do find themselves close to half HP.
That's actually such a good cancel in the way that they are able to execute on it, as they see Cryogen here, and they don't know that U13 is waiting on the side, but I don't think they Kisno is here either until now.
You going to potentially get in there for the battle, but going to think better of it when he sees that 4 members of Team A are ready and rearing. There's going to be the Rift Herald thrown on down. Kisno going to jump inside, looking to get that charge in onto the turret. TP is being
Oh,
channeled
wait.
by Shochi to be able to get it involved in this play. Already the living artillery from Shogo's Kog'Maw going to start to be felt, as it did spot out Enthralled. They're going to plant the Sun Disc in mid lane, giving themselves the inside track, making it tough for Shochi to join this fight, but the Dragon already being started
Dragon
out
already
here. They
started.
do not want to give over an early soul point to Team A, but it takes them way too long, and Cryogen's coming
Cryogen.
around on the flank.
Oh, wait.
Is maybe going to get caught out separate from the rest of the team. There's going to be the shuffle back in from 5 Mini, but they won't be able to follow up for too much damage. Ariana over the wall, cut off from the rest of the team, going to be forced to make an early retreat. Cryogen low on HP, no flash available for 5 Mini. A lot of tools already used for Team A without being able to find the results that they need, but lots of ultimates down on Team B's side as well. The Dragon going to be falling below 4K
wait,
HP.
Shochi.
Shochi going to dive forward, looking for 5 Mini.
Such a
Fate
good ulti.
Seal from Shochi will connect on a 3, but still the health bars are standing. They have not been able to finish off a kill on either side yet, and it's K's Flame Spitter that's finally gonna cause some death in this fight. 2 to Team B. Everybody stands on Team B's side, and they get themselves a 3rd Dragon as well.
Everything falling into place for the side of Team B in that position, and it's what we were talking about, the value out of the team fight. Yone finding 2 people with their ultimate, U13 also having a great engaged angle, K also having a good equalizer to start it off, and multiple members out of Team A were so low to start the fight off. The problem there really is the position of Cryogen, because he was way too far away to stop the engage from the Wukong, and there's also one of the few issues that maybe Team A's composition will have. The fact that they don't have a straightforward engage tool, that means that if Cryogen goes for those flanks, then it's leaving open for everyone else to be engaged on, and that's where Team B took the right advantage out of that situation. Really good long fight, it's all played out according to what they need to, and now soul point for them.
Definitely good start here for Team B in attempting to make their comeback. They've lost out on a tremendous amount of the gold in the early game, but they are now 1 dragon away from securing soul, and that additional sustain with the Seraphine on your team is going to feel so good as the game goes longer and longer. Going to expect to see a Moonstone Renewer from Protoss eventually. Going to expect to see those Echoes of Helia. Going to feel a lot better when you do have that Dragon Soul to help keep you topped off. And it's going to give you the power to be able to fight back in this game, especially when you have such strong scaling picks like this Seraphine, like this Yone. You know, you're facing down a Kog'Maw. That's often a very scary sight in the later game, but with the additional sustain against a poke Kog'Maw, you may just be able to withstand it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how strong the late game out of the poke Kog'Maw is compared to the just attack speed Kog'Maw, but it's still a Kog'Maw to try and deal with. I think the main thing here has to be 5 minutes damage. The longer the game goes is also going to be meaningful, but having that healing on your back like you were mentioning, it's going to be a difference maker, as trying to now have a little bit more pressure here on the side lane, maybe for the side of Team A, knowing that straightforward in a team fight can be way too scary in some of those situations, so just trying to fight it off on the side can work out much better for you, could be another option for them to really look into. And with the way that the game kind of set itself up now, it looks like Dragon, the next Dragon coming up in 220, can be the moment of truth for both of these teams, where they force the fight and they try to win off the game off of that.
Yeah, Otacon is up and available, and this is a place where you can flex that gold lead as Team A to try to put yourself in a position to be able to close this one out. Still incredibly strong on the Ambessa is Ariana. Still early enough in the game for this 2-item Xin Zhao to make a big difference in the team fights up against the 1-item Wukong. But they don't have all their members on this side. They're currently concerned with clearing out waves in top. Ariana does have the TP. Gotta be able to clear waves in mid all day long on Shogo's Kog'Maw. And now they will start to move down towards that bottom side.
And Shogo is backing here, so he may have the second item. It's going to be second item for most members, bar Ariana and Poppy here, to try and force a fight for the Atakan in this position. That being said, you don't want to be the one starting off the Atakan just because you do get quite hit by that armor shred that ends up coming in from the Atakan. And as there's not many tanky champions here for the side of Team A. It probably could be a little bit counterintuitive, but they're waiting to try and fight it as, oh, the
Oh,
Ashe
Ariana
perfect engage
TPing
there.
in for this play, and they just rush it, getting on towards Enthralled, connecting the
Away,
public
Protoss.
execution. Now it's Protoss, cut away from the rest of the team. Phi Mini forcing back U13, but the one member they've already claimed, that should be enough for them to start off this Otacon. K is taking a turret on the opposite side, but this is going to be well worth it for Team A if they are able to get this massive boost that comes with the Otacon, this big pile of XP waiting for them in the bottom side. They will be able to retreat Ariana in time to be able to answer the top side as well. No response available from Team B. And Ariana, again, making the move, expends TP to the mid-outer turret, collapses on towards Enthralled, connects the raw ultimate, and will be rewarded in droves.
It's extremely worth it at the end of the day. You find a kill onto the Ashe, you're able to find the Anakin here in this position just before Dragon spawns, although losing that Scarlet Crop here, not the most ideal thing, but Dragon spawning right now in 1 second, that can be a point of fighting here where having that Anakin value can be really meaningful, as K needs to be careful, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, loses half his HP for that one. I mean, the rest of the collapse not quite going to be there.
Shochi.
Cryogen might be the one
Oh,
getting
Cryogen.
caught. Now, beautiful cleanse from Cryogen, expecting
He may be
it to
dead,
come
though.
through, but it still will not save him. Everybody piles in. U13 committing flash and ultimate for that. We'll see what Team A can do to respond.
Yeah, they can counter engage here. They still have their ultimates in their favor. Ariana's ulti is just about to come back online, and not having the Wukong ultimate to set up 4K and also the Shochi ultimate here can be meaningful, but Dragon already falling quite low.
Yeah, it's a lot of tools expended, but you need to be able to contest this.
Oh,
Into the
wait.
backline goes Ariana, connects the
Oh,
public
he's
execution.
dead.
He's all over the backline. Shuffle in from Phi
Wait,
Mini.
U13?
Flash over the wall
He
from
gets a
Ariana,
go.
gonna get chased down by K. They were able to secure themselves the Dragon Soul. Kizno fell too early, but what about the follow-up fight? Enthrall going to flash back to safety. Shogo out of mana. Phi
They're
Mini
slowly
out
healing.
of health. And even though Cryogen is rejoined,
at
it may be
K.
too little and too late. Phi Mini gonna get hunted down by
Oh, this is
U13.
doomed.
Cryogen now cut away from the rest of the team. Shogo deep behind enemy lines, still without a mana pool, will be easily
Oh,
cut down
no.
by K. And that is an ace plus Dragon Soul to Team B. They've turned this game fully around.
Yeah, just like that, even though they don't have the gold lead in their favor, they now have the dragon lead and the kill lead for themselves. A lot of value coming through there as multiple members also completing a couple of items as well here. I'm pretty sure the Ashe got a couple of more value here after that kill, those kills. And now having to go against a Surfing healing plus Ocean Soul healing is going to be really difficult for the side of Team A. And really goes to show how magnifying the body or magnifying the attempt at getting those dragons really early on by U13 ends up paying quite well here to have this sort of strength to go into the mid lane, take down the couple remaining turrets that are left there, and try and get more gold in your favor, because now Team B is going to go ahead in terms of gold.
Yeah, I mean, everything in Team B's favor now. The fact that they managed to secure that Dragon Soul, absolutely massive for them. And that pick,
Nope.
very impactful. Look at that Enchanted Crystal Arrow, plus the Equalizer onto Shogo's Kog'Maw. He will not die, but he will fall low enough that he won't be able to clear waves, and they might look to make a fast
Wade?
play here.
Hey.
K gonna get dove in onto, but they aren't able to get the lockdown. U13 up in the middle of everybody, gonna get thrown back away by the Crescent Guard. It's just damage onto Team A for now, nothing permanent. But they do still have that regen available to them. K barely evades a public execution from
Oh, no,
Ariana.
Wade.
And now Ariana going to be
Guilty.
punished. Here comes the Encore, connects out of both
I mean,
carries.
he's dead.
Phi Mini gonna have to dash back to stay alive. And U13 may just fall as well, but the healing is enough.
that
Cryogen
heal.
dives in, but the Ocean Soul bails him out. K gonna have no
Cover.
such luck though. Neither will Shochi, who is sniped by a living artillery from Kog'Maw. Shogo trying his best to fight back, but it is a 2-for-1 for Team A.
Pretty sure Shochi also ate a turret shot from the Seer turret, plus the living artillery, so that was enough to be able to get the kill in that position. 2-for-1 at the end of the day, not the worst for the side of Team A, but they are still a little bit in the back foot just because of that Ocean Soul. You can see in that fight how so many targets get really low early on, but because of the constant healing of the soul, they cannot close out on a couple of kills. The Wukong U13 should have died at the start of it, and he was able to get out and keep on being alive thanks to that soul. Now they do get a turret down here in the bot side, so a little bit extra gold going in for Team A. And one thing that does matter now moving forward is that even though soul is in one side, Elder will spawn in 3 minutes. Baron buff is also available. So if you're able to win a fight close to either objective or close to the timing of either objective, you can also get the other one and just set the pace of the game in your favor there.
That has been so critical for them. Be able to win out on these objectives on Team B, no matter how far they fell behind in gold, no matter how far they fell behind in kills. Their objective setups and objective performances have been strong with this team fight composition, and it's now put them in a position where they should feel confident being able to take these additional fights. Poppy, though, a big X factor, could be able to halt one of these engages, could be able to pick off a Shochi or a U13 and turn the fight back in their favor.
Yeah, they need to find something here as K also being found out here in this position. Equalizer not the best spot. K may die here. Yep. Pretty comfortable.
Shut him down. Ariana making another pick.
They're looking for Baron, though.
5-second death timers. I mean, we're getting over
It's
to
dying
30
quite
minutes
quick.
here. You're running out of time to be able to respond if you are Team A. Need to be able to get multiple members over here. Kizno so far
Awkward now.
away. Baron falling below half HP. Punt out, found
Wait.
by Cryogen. On the
U13 is
jungler.
out.
It's a full 50-50. There's no smite available. They get U13
he gets it
back
at the
in
end.
there. He will be able to smite it down in time. But terrible
no.
white lines for Team B means they are eviscerated by the damage of Shogo and 5 Mini. A clean ace for Team A, and they have Run of Summoner's Rift for 40 seconds.
Yeah, they decide to commit for the Baron buff in that position, which is not necessarily the worst, but then they kind of went into the pit more and more and just corralled themselves into an awful spot. Great ulti by Cryogen also to pull away U13, making it really difficult to burst out the Baron buff in time, and then able to provide the extra utility for both Pai Mini and Ariana that were arriving there to just get the kills in that position. Really difficult for the side of Team B to actually play off of that situation. Now losing Baron buff, Elder is spawning in 50 seconds. We need to see how much damage can Team A do in this spot and how much gold can they get just before the Elder Dragon fight.
That's going to be so critical for Team A to try to salvage this game. They were in such a strong position earlier on, but multiple dragon fights not going their way has sunk them. But now they get their heads back above water with a huge team fight. The pick onto K again, so critical here. Need to see some responsibility on that Rumble to not allow these sorts of situations to break down that way. And yes, they secured the Baron. They get some gold back there, but all 5 members down means no buff. They nearly get onto Shochi off that TP. They're certainly going to find some poke thanks to Shogo's Kog'Maw.
Yeah, the poke is starting to come through there, and it's quite a bit of damage already at this point. Even went for the... Oh, wait.
And Cristolero finds Shogo. Shochi on top of him, but Cryogen going to be able to punch him away. U13 still able to get into that back line and finish off the Kog'Maw. That is a huge loss. Lockdown onto 5 Mini from Protoss. The damage isn't quite there, available to fall up. 5 Mini trying to make some hero plays here. Dives back onto K, going to be able to get that flash off of him. That's all ultimates down for this ultimate focus team from Team B. But Shogo being down for 35 seconds is massive. Ariana gets a good trade onto U13, but the Elder Dragon has already been started up. They see the numbers advantage on Team B, and they want to be able to capitalize on it.
The healing is also so good.
Taking a fair bit of damage to the front line, going to get poked away by this Ashe. They're trying to buy time for Shogo.
U13,
They're not going to get 20 seconds. U13 is blown up. 5 Mini able to finish off that kill. No smite available for Team B now. They just need to be able to protect Kizno to make sure he's going to be able to get back in to be able to smite away the dragon. Getting held at 7k now, but this time is not on Team B's side. Shogo going to be up in 4 seconds. He's got access to the teleport. Team B has to peel off, but now the Elder's a threat for Team A. Shogo coming in on the bottom lane, going to be able to rejoin over here with the teleport. The Elder going to reset its aggro for the time being. It's a dive in from Shochi, trying to get this fight started, but loses half his HP once again to the Kog'Maw. Slow on to K. Living artillery raining down from Shogo. Dive in on the public execution from Ariana, and down goes Team B. Everybody groups up and tears them asunder with the damage presented by Shogo. It's another clean ace to Team A. U13 comes up, and there's nothing for him left.
He can just try and go in with the ultimate and maybe try and protect the base, but it's not going to be enough at this point. Yeah, they're committing. Yeah, they're going for the kill here. Yu is running away, but it's just a matter of time. Oh, probably they died there, but it's not going to be enough. They take down two members here at the end, but the team fight, the game, the Elder, everything is for the side of Team A. Such a huge fight they are able to get there in that position. And the crucial thing is getting the kill on U13 as they were trying to take down the Elder, because the pick on the Ash was on the Kog'Maw was really good. The Ash arrow connected on the right target. He didn't have any flash at that point. He wasn't able to escape on the right time, and then committing on the rest of the members, they had Dragon Soul healing them up slowly. I think they took the fight a little bit too quickly, because if they just waited on K's support on the back, they probably could have won the Elder Dragon fight there. But a little bit of overconfidence in that position, and it's a perfect counter fight coming in by the side of Team A. Really good.
Yeah, really well done, Team A. It gets a little dicey there, but the early
Yeah.
advantage ends up being enough for them at the end of the day, as they do come back, find those critical team fights, a 5-0 ace at Baron, a 5-0 ace at Elder, and it is the out team fighting that was favoring Team B for so many of those dragon fights. At the biggest epic monsters, Team A comes out on top. Shogo's Kog'Maw finding huge harassment, and Ariana
Yep.
constantly able to access the backline. My MVP clearly on this Mbessa.
Yeah, Rihanna did so much in this game. Multiple public executions connecting on multiple important targets, also controlling the lane from early on. You see typically how Rumble should just get control in almost any lane just off of the fact that he gets so much damage down, but Rihanna played it off really nicely, setting up for the team, and at the end they are able to close it out with a 6-1-7 as well.
Yeah, really good stuff there. Across the board for Team A, I mean, they
Yeah.
struggled. You could feel it on trying to secure some of those early objectives. Kisno a little bit late to some things, a little bit cross-mapped on some things, but at the end of the day, it is enough for Team A to be able to close them out once they are able to get the fights that they need. With that, we're going to throw it to a quick break here before we get into draft for game number 2. The players going to take some time to review. It is a combine, of course, time to see what their mindsets are and take what learnings they can from their coaches. So we will take it to a quick break here, but we will see everybody on the other side for game number 2 as soon as it's ready.
How many came to fight and die here? How many legions overcome? How many scars are left behind us? But there will be no rises. There's always light within Hear the awakened world. Scream glory and scream courage. For here we stand forever from this day. We made it through fires to redemption on the other side. We're standing and we're burning bright. Alright, 'cause we are timeless. Our future knows not your pain. Our past knows only victory. So we still remain. And we still remain. Yeah!
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the Sido Combine. We are getting ready for game number 2 after a solid performance from Team A in game number 1. Unclear at this point if we're going to have a side swap, but very well performed by Ariana in particular in game number 1. Love to see the Kog'Maw out of Shogo. Let's see how they want to adapt for game number 2, especially given that those flex picks could very well change, and we're see those players back on traditional setups from the limited champion list that they have available.
Yeah, we may even have just a full-on champion list game where everyone is just playing one of the champions assigned for tonight, and we just go into one of those. But ideally, I think the fact that we saw the flex working out so effectively, I would argue this game was really good. Like Shogo finding so much value off of the poke that was coming through with the Cockmao, so much opportunities that were able to be played around that in a lot of those situations, and then the Seraphine as well. I think Proto Seraphine found really good ultimates. And lucky that they couldn't kind of close it out at the moment where they were looking to make the most out of those ultimates. But realistically, I think it worked out really well. So it's something to really look forward to because I feel like they have been playing really effectively with those off picks.
Yeah, I agree. I think they have definitely shown how well they can perform when they do get those opportunities. And I would love to see, something a little different from the mid lane matchups or the top lane matchups as
Yeah,
well. We know that, these guys can go into some more flexible selections. And it feels like those are the pools that feel especially constrained when you do have this like limited selection. At least that's how I feel about it, right? You kind
that's
of,
fair.
there's enough depth in the other or a more established meta for the other roles, but there's a lot of depth in the solo lanes. So looks like that's not going to be the case this time, though. It is going to be the Caitlyn coming through for Enthralled as his off meta choice, and Cryogen gonna show us the Pike. He just won a Finals MVP over with us in the ACL on this Pike TDS. I am very excited to
Yep.
see him piloting it in this game number 2.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be really exciting seeing how much he's able to accomplish. Also playing off of the Yunara here, so it's going to be. It can be an aggressive lane. Obviously, going against the Caitlyn kind of makes it really difficult in a lot of the situations, but you also need to consider that it's double squishy bot lane. So the Pike hooks are going to be really, really dangerous, and then the setup that you can get with the Poppy as well here can be really nice going into the walls after the hook. So there's a lot of chances here to find really good opportunities for the team. I think mid lane matchup kind of a little boring, unluckily, because it is the Rise against the Aurora, if I'm not wrong here. So not going to be the most exciting one, but certainly can set up a lot of plays moving around the map, and the team fighting from both of these mid laners can still be exceptionally good if they are able to find the right spots. And I think the Poppy here going to have so much value as well, up just because of how many dashes and jumping around can happen from the blue side of the map here.
And it's another strong laning matchup for Ariana. He ends up on this
Yeah.
Gnar facing off against the Cassante. So, gonna need to see that laning shored up by K a little bit here. It should again be expected for him to fall a little bit behind in CS. Want to make sure that he can do that gracefully, not take too much harassment, not set up for himself to get dove by this Poppy, and
Yep.
make sure that he is going to be able to keep Ariana down, or at least not let Ariana come out of the laning phase massively ahead on this Gnar and start spinning some of those later game or mid game fights around objectives. The way that he was able to on the Abessa, right? They were able to build up such great leads and gold, even if not in objectives, off of Ariana's access to being able to make plays happen on that Mpesa. He could do that on this Gnar too, especially if he's able to get that early laning advantage again.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools here to really make it work out in that way. And then the setup for team fighting can also be quite good. Like, even though there's no straightforward engage once again when you look at the side of team A here, because realistically it's off of the hook of the Pike, or maybe a jump in from the Gnar, or maybe a wall bang onto from the Poppy that you're able to find that. There's not really a lot of other tools to really make the engage happen compared to something like the Bard ultimate or the Jarvan ultimate. But if you're able to lay down the sort of tools that you have in your favor, your team fight can still work out massively well. And then obviously, value is going to be really, really good as well.
Yeah, really good for this Yunara, and Shogo on the Yunara going to be an exciting pick to see for certain. We'll see if Enthralled is going to be able to abuse this Caitlyn, especially on the double ranged bot lane. I mean, Bard versus Pike is a bitty high skill matchup for the 2v2 for both of the supports, right?
Yeah.
Either one getting an angle onto the other can very easily turn into kills in the 2 versus 2. So tough ask here for both these players who are going to be on some signature champions of theirs. Like Protoss is a big Bard player, been
Yep.
showing off that Bard quite a bit as of late, and Cryogen on the pike, kind of in that same category. This is a signature champion of his. He's been playing it for years when he does see the right angles for it, and as of late, it's been those angles coming up a little bit more often. So a very exciting showing here. Feel Fearless has definitely let these champions come into
Yep.
the spotlight a little bit more, but it looks like even without Fearless in play, they're going to be happy to bring them up now.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you have the opportunity to try and pull them off, try and go for them. Even if Fearless is not the one showing there, like we've seen so many times how champions that weren't expected to be that good have come out and being really good. Like just to name one immediately off the top of my head, Mundo this Worlds. It's working out massively well. People are starting to see the power of it, and it all comes down on the fact that they weren't willing to test it before, but now with 30s, a little bit more willingness out of that. So certainly be more willing to pull out those champs that if the team is believing in you and you know that you can play them well enough, in the right comps, it can work out massively well.
Absolutely, and that it looks like we're finishing out our spectate timer here, so we should be getting onto Summoner's Rift very, very shortly. Ai's going to be in the top and bottom lanes. Again, like you said,
Yep.
probably going to be a little bit more boring of a mid lane matchup, but got plenty to watch in those side lanes, given what we saw in game number 1. Want to see if Ariana can maintain that lane dominance that he showed us previously. As I do hear Summoner's Rift noises in the background. Excited to get round 2 between these two teams started off. Find out who is going to pull ahead in today's matchup.
Yep, we'll just have to wait and see how it's going to come through. And so far, at the very least, one team is 0-1-0. We're going to wait and see if it's going to fall into the traditional BO3 or if it's going to be just another advantage here for Team A. But looking at the way that it's starting, interestingly enough, U13 going here over on the bottom part, maybe trying to try and see something because everyone else is kind of positioned elsewhere in the map.
Yeah, definitely. No early invade from Cryo, at least for the time being. Do you want to call out? He's got those Hail of Blades, so set up for early game damage. Now, Ping's starting to come on across. Shochi going to show himself. Ariana waiting in the bush. Going to be able to step out here. Throws out the boomerang. It doesn't connect it, actually. Not going to be life or death, but certainly could have contributed a lot more damage on Decay had that connected.
Yeah, a good amount of damage though. Oh, even stopping the back here. So it is going to be a little bit of time taken away from the K'Sante, although they are trying to make the trade onto the positions here. So it's going to be Enthralled going towards the top lane, and it's instead going to be the K'Sante going downwards to the bot side. I'm not sure if that's better or not for the Caitlyn, because technically speaking, she should have a really nice time in the bot lane with the Bard and with the Bard double ranged bot lane there. It should be much better to play around that, and I think the top lane, yes, you can go against Dinar nicely enough, but he's also ranged, so it's not like he needs to go near you to be able to farm comfortably.
No, it is certainly not, and should be an interesting 2-on-2 now, as we do have K in this bottom lane trying to get aggressive on towards Shogo. That's an electrocute proc coming
Okay.
out of Protoss for good damage, but Shogo able to return it twofold and get the flash out of K in the 2-on-2, hoping to avoid a tough matchup, it felt like, but so far Team
Yeah.
A pulling ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the right plan in that situation now, because look at how the bot lane is going now, or the bottom side of the part is going now, right? Kano flash, 0 CS, Birdie able to even get near the lane. Then now they are finally going to be able to collect some, but Cryogen's threat with the hook is always going to be there, and then Shogo can follow up really comfortably with the range that they both have. Plus, if the puppy comes down there, you can lock someone down into the turret, and that's going to be the scary part for them. As yeah, Cryogen, look at that. He's just aggressively going in for the hooks.
Yeah, and it's tough for K to farm in this position, right? He's a melee. He has to step up to
Yeah.
this ranged wave, and that puts him at risk of getting hooked, getting harassed by Shogo without fear of reprisal from the turret. It's a difficult situation. I'm really wondering what the plan here was from Team B, if they thought they would get control over the wave, or if they thought they were pre-countering a potential swap from Team A. I'm not clear on it, but it's a rough start for K already, and Ariana doing just fine in this matchup. Yeah, Enthralled's gonna get all of his CS no problemo, but I don't know if it's worth the loss on towards this Cassante. As Fine Mini finds a nice trade on a Shochi. Protoss already abandoning the bottom
Oh,
lane to try to make
flash
some plays
in.
happen out of Fine Mini. Fine Mini falling below 100, but Kisno is there to back him up, and U13 will not be able to complete the kill.
There was a flash in there by Proto, so even though they commit a little bit, they are not able to get the kill into 5 Mini, and oh, 5 Mini is still here. He has to be careful because a flash in by U13 may end up being the kill for the Jarban in that position. But yeah, not really accomplishing much, just the typical trading, and Ariana is perfectly fine here. He's actually really far ahead in terms of the CS compared to K. And the Caitlyn hasn't been able to punish Dinar as much as we've seen the Kisante being punished down there in the bot side.
Yeah, I mean, I assume Ariana's just going to recall spend TP down bottom, and he'll be the one to lane against K now. So they do move Shogo and Cryogen up towards this top side. So, I mean, all in all, the final result,
He is backing away
pretty
though.
much. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty much net zero here. Like the CS lead for Ariana is about equal to the CS lead for Enthralled. But I just, it felt like there was definitely some time there where kills nearly ended up coming through. Protoss had to expend the flash. K had to expend the flash. That's not the case for the rest, so we'll see if Kisno can capitalize on those opportunities.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that's going to end up being the case. It's, oh, really good hook there. Shochi has to flash away. Really nice setup. And we're beginning to see Cryogen just starting to move around the map, trying to set himself up for success, and the team as well, and doing a really good job at just being such a threat as Protoss is trying to follow up. The problem is that it feels like with the way that the game started, Cryogen is just a step ahead just because of the way that it started. Oh, Enthralled.
Great hook found onto Enthralled there by Cryogen. They will not be able to finish off the kill as Protoss does arrive to the scene, but this very low health bar going to make things very
Another
dangerous for
one.
Enthralled. Hook comes out, blocked by Protoss,
Oh,
flash
wait,
under the
Shogo.
turret from Shogo to clean up first blood, and going to stay alive with the barrier for just a moment. Cryogen now going to try to finish off onto Protoss. Does he have the Hail of Blades damage?
Not enough.
Not quite there. Protoss survives on a sliver.
It is a 1-for-1, but look at the amount of CS that the Caitlyn is going to end up missing there. Pro is able to push away the wave a little bit so that it's not going to be doomed and gloom, but it's really, really bad the way that this game is kind of going for Team B because the setup has just been much better as Ariana needs to be a little bit careful, has to flash away, so K finding some avenues to turn around the game. The problem is that you have a kill in the Yunara now, you have such a threatening Cryogen moving around the map, and there's no real lead that you've been able to find with the Jarvan either. Like, the Jarvan hasn't been a menace all around the map. Maybe now, though.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Shogo manages to die to Protoss as well. Fine Mini going to try to get out of here. Flashes over the flag and drag. And gets the Realm Warp to safety. Well played by Fine Mini to escape that three-man gank. And things just go from bad to worse here for Team B as they, again, in the early game, are not able to produce the results that they want. Still, the gold lead looking just fine for them. That CS lead in mid helping them a whole bunch. Shochi doing a great job up against 5 Mini.
Yeah, able to get quite a bit of gold off of just having the advantage in the laning phase, and it is going to be one of the main parts that we have to look into because the control that the set of teammate was able to get is a lot more on moving around the map than it is on the gold lead. The gold lead is pretty equal between both sides, and that's even with the first blood. So now it's teammate that needs to find the angles of them being able to get more value out of that. As really good trade by K there.
Yeah, Kay getting into melee range up against Ariana frequently, but Ariana about to go mega. And did just dodge out on the third cast. The Intofo strikes. Enthralled gonna get hooked. Cryogen needs to try to stay alive. Dodges out of the Peacemaker.
Just enough.
Shogo gonna finish off the kill with the laser. And another 2v2 kill for Shogo and Cryogen. Ariana and Kay duking it out as Ariana is about to shift back. We'll get that hyper proc and we'll get back at range to be able to return fire. Kay loses a fair chunk of HP, but neither top laner forced out from that.
Yeah, not just yet able to run away. That being said, the trading by K has been really effective in trying to force Ariana into a weird spot, and then having to go back into how they want to try and force a fight. It's kind of difficult to really see where the lead is going to come through in that position, but so far has been quite kind of equal in the top laners. Really, it's only the bot lane that has been finding much more value for the set of Team A, and now even gold lead or CS lead for Shogo, apart from just having the kill lead as well.
Okay, dashing forward, finds the stun once again. Continually able to get into melee range up against Ariana here, but again, a mega transform from Ariana will give him the ability to fight back, or at least should. A little bit of extra armor on K, though. Not doing too bad in that one-on-one. These grubs are up and available. U13 already claiming one. It
One is
doesn't
down.
look like Kisno can see a good path in.
Yeah, it's really difficult to really try and get there, especially from their position. So much better to just, oh, Ariana flashing.
Yeah, that was
Ooh,
tough here. Ariana missing out
oh,
on his
Protos.
own boomerang, and K able to get in on the flash, but not able to finish off the kill. Cryogen stunned
Oh,
behind
really
enemy
good
lines,
flash.
goes in too deep, and Enthralled will get revenge for that tough laning phase. First kill of the game onto that Caitlyn.
Yeah, really good flash there coming in. It was a little bit too overzealous by Cryogen in that position, thinking that with the engage there, he was going to be able to actually lock down Protoss before he is able to flash away, and then the follow-up was going to be enough. Not at that position, and Cryogen was also missing level 6 in that play, but I like the AD in general, and the response by Protoss is really good. That being said, it was 3 grubs going in the favor of Team B.
Okay, going for the recall here. Comes back in with the TP at full HP and dukes it out with Ariana again. Lands the third and Tofo strike. This is looking dicey for Ariana,
Oh,
but he
good
just wants
stun.
to keep the trade going, knowing that he will have his own recall and TP available soon.
Will he back soon enough? Probably, but not, doesn't seem to be the case now. They are
Kisno
waiting
trying
for
to
the
make the play
Poppy, actually.
early. It
Yeah.
goes in for the charge, but
Good
K able to
dash.
space it out.
Oh,
Slow
he hit
lands on
him.
a max range boomerang. Knock up from the Keeper's verdict. Gonna try to turn this one back, but they do get the
Okay.
all out. It's looking for the execute. K not quite able to fight it. Shogo in a 1 versus 3. Goes way too deep, and it will be Fleet of Warfare claimed
He still
for
may
Team
die.
B. Flash in. Or flash out, rather, from Kisno as K stepping forward with the third and Tofo strikes, looking to get onto Ariana. Can't quite find it, and now it's Ariana coming through with
Ulti's
the
out.
slows once again. K maybe has overstepped his
Oh,
bounds.
no.
Kisno finds the re-engage. Shield only nullifies the boulder, but
Yep.
Ariana chases him down. TP in from Shochi to see if he can clean up some members on the backside. Between Worlds comes through, connects
perfect
the
there.
weirding, connects the kill. Phi Mini, Realm morphs in, but he's too late to make a difference.
Yeah, the teleporting really nice there to try and put a stop onto the play. And also the top lane play crucial as well, because it meant that now Enthralled at the very least able to recover some of the huge lead that Shogo was able to have on top of the Caitlyn. Now, it is much closer between both of them, and then even though Kate died, it is as well important that they were able to shut down Ariana. The game is really, really close. Like, it really could go either side just because of how it's going, and oh, another kill maybe.
Ooh, nice block on the dash from Phi Mini.
Trap.
But I don't think that
no,
is
no.
going to be enough. He's going to get chased on down, and there
Yeah.
will be another kill. It again goes to Enthralled, stacking up bodies.
Just like that, Enthralled now ahead of the Yunara, also going to be able to get a couple of the plates here in the bot lane. Now Enthralled looking really, really strong, and the counter punch here by the side of Team A probably not going to be as strong because it's only Cryogen and Kisno here, and there's not enough lockdown to be able to go in as, yeah, Enthralled just escapes.
Yep. Enthralled going to start to go to work on these tower plates now. Has a couple more minutes before they despawn, and it's one of the areas where Caitlyn can really start to balloon those leads. Was set behind early on, but has been able to reestablish himself, and now looking like he will be able to reap the benefits.
Ooh.
Great footwork from K there, finding good dashes, good evades on the return damage from Ariana.
Yeah, has been able to evade really good attempt plays there in a really good manner, and then also trying to set himself up for as much success as possible. Even though the Puppy was there to mess him up, he almost killed Ariana in one of the plays down there in the bot side. So certainly, at the very least, K has had better opportunities this game to really show up with the Kisanteas. Nice stop onto Protoss. Having to run away here, nothing much is going to end up happening, and the Dragon is available. This could be second Dragon of the game for Team A. Ooh.
Dodge out by Ariana once again, but yeah, this commitment up towards the top side, meaning that they are not going to go for the Dragon. The Dragon is going to be secured by Kisno. Now, can they get Ariana on the opposite side? Flash away from Cataclysm will keep Ariana standing, and he's just going to back away from this turret, recognizing the risk of the redive. Actually, just trying to stack up his own rage so he can come over here and defend himself. He does have Cryogen in his back pocket.
He has
Going
ulti
to
as well.
transform shortly, but the CC immunity of the Cassante should mean that K can just walk away from this.
Yeah, they also have the opportunity there for the play with a Meganar, because they do have that in their pockets, but it just feels like they don't have enough damage to be able to kill K at this point with the amount of armor that he currently has. Now, they are looking here aggressively. K,
He just used the CC immunity. Cryogen going to be able to connect these hooks. Does
yeah,
get it
pull
on
back.
K. K has
Ooh.
to flash away to avoid the follow-up stun from Phantom Undertow. And again, it
Cryogen
is
can
a
go in their
flash
turret.
blown for nothing. Are they going to go for this? Harpoon can't connect. Cryogen still not saying die. Flashes away that time. Goes in for
Oh,
the
Executor's
ultimate,
not
goes in
available.
for the stun. The follow-up's just not there. K kidnaps him. And K will find a solo kill, 1 versus 2.
A little bit of a misplay there by Cryogen, and luckily, because the execute was not enough to be able to go for the play, and K, really good cancel into the ultimate angle is just so good.
Oh,
Ariana,
Ariana going for it now. A
Oh, the
beautiful
cancel!
CC immunity will
Of
block the
course.
Gnar from Ariana. And K comes up 1v2 double kill.
This is one of the reasons why I don't like the fact that people say that Kisante is not a good or not a good blind in most situations, because even though I understand that he's not broken, he's certainly able to outplay almost any situation that comes through towards him, especially in this sort of dive attempts when there's a little bit of lack of damage. You can just outplay it really effectively, and K played it off so well. The amount of time that he probably has played the champion really comes through in that position, and it's making it so that now Team B has enough control of the map that they can go for whatever play they want. There's no objectives currently available, but as soon as one of them comes, having this big Kisante with teleport available is going to be so ideal for them.
And I mean, say what you will about the early game lane assignments, but K has played fantastically since then. Be able to withstand the pressure being placed onto his shoulders. Very good Kisante game out of K so far. One that we saw him play quite frequently in this last NACL split by Mini. Getting pressured in the 1 versus 2.
Shogo.
Shogo feels good in his ability to chase down onto this Kisante. Does commit the ultimate there.
Yep.
Not too long of a cooldown though.
Still does mean that for a potential fight, not going to have it there available is going to be a little bit difficult, as you committed there.
Oh,
Get stunned.
yeah, it's going to be the jump over the wall. They know where he is. They flash on over with Kizno. They get him banged into the wall. And Kizno will be able to pick up the kill. The Rift Herald now going to be right for the taking. Shochi with a big between worlds, though. Locks down 3 members. The first one to fall is going to be Ariana. They need 5 Mini for the damage, but 5 Mini under way too much threat. And Enthralled just shooting fish in a barrel will finish off Kizno. Shogo arrives to the scene a little bit later. Still doesn't have that ultimate from earlier, though. And that will put a gap on his damage potential. Cryogen still hunting around on the opposite side. A big hook here could set up for Shogo. Gets it onto Shochi. Shochi going to be able to flash away. Gets through the between worlds. Here it comes Shogo, but he's face to face with Protos. Enthralled gets it with the ace in the hole. Cryogen trying to fight back. He'll fall down to the Cosmic Binding. It's all going wrong for Team A. Team B cleaning up house. Enthralled without that ultimate will not be able to kill off Thigh Mini, but the rest all going to Team B.
Yeah, Family able to get away there really comfortably, but you really have to look at the way that the game has been going to see that Enthralled and Protos are both 11 and 9th respectively, where Shogo I think is just about to hit level 11 and Frygin is level 7, 2 levels below Protos in most of those plays, so he's not as strong as possible to really try and fight it out. Shogo actually level 11, but you really see the difference in most of those situations where the damage from the Caitlyn is really strong, and then also the positioning from Protos has been really good. Able to lock down targets in really uncomfortable positions, like 5 Mini that fight inside of the Herald Pit, and then Enthralled being able to free hit whilst Shogo was just coming back to play. It really makes a difference in that position. Oh, Shogo.
Pick onto Shogo. Tempered Fate finds him. Well planned on the CC, and Enthralled goes godlike. 7 kills to this Caitlyn.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be another like Caitlyn game where you're just going to be seeing the Caitlyn shining through everyone. So much damage by the Cait, 7 and 2. Dragon should be going in the favor of the side of Team B, and that puts a stop to the Dragon scaling that Team A was able to try and lock down there. And it looks like they can try and begin rushing into tier 2 turrets at this point, because with a Caitlyn this strong, you just need the right setup, and it's able to collapse onto most of them really well.
Definitely. And well done by Enthralled to be able to kind of reestablish himself in this game. Was set so far behind early by the pressure that Cryogen and Shogo were able to put out, but now has been able to just wait out, bide his time, pick up his farm, pick up his turret plates where applicable, and has now been rewarded handsomely. Although K is found by Kizno, low on HP, but I don't know that a Poppy can just pump out the damage that they need here, and doesn't have the backup of 5 Mini yet. Will be forbidden from defending his turret for quite a while, though, and now 5 Mini finally going to be able to come in and finish this off. K inadvisably steps up too far while his allies are too far away.
I was probably trying to wait for them to arrive just in the nick of time, but not able to get that going in their favor as Feynman is staying here. He still has teleport, so he can come back in at any point. He has to be extra careful about whatever ends up happening there. The Atakan also available here to try and take down. With a Caitlyn this strong, you can actually go for it. Actually, no, Atakan in just 1 minute. It's the Herald. I'm blanking on some of the on this objective names in some of these occasions, but Herald is something that can be really useful as well if you're able to take it down now with the Caitlyn.
Well, with luck, this will be the last year we're talking about Otacon, so no worries there.
You really
Spy
believe that?
Mini. I don't know what I believe anymore, GDS. We'll see. We'll see what the vision for the game
True.
in the future is. Shochi moving his way up from mid lane. 3 members coming to regroup with him as they get the shove in both mid and top lane. They want this Rift Herald. Went for it earlier on. We're not able to secure it. Now going to try for round number 2. Can they come over on Team A to even try to contest? It doesn't look like that's the plan. Mini, he TP'd back, but the call is to just back away.
Such a weird TP position there now, and Crygen and Shogun are also coming in on the side here, so it just feels like their decision was to fight it, then backpedaled on it, and now it's going to be try and get control over mid lane so that they can fight for the turret. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take it down as quickly as possible, and instead the move towards the top side means that they are either going to try and take this Anakin in as soon as it spawns, or they are going to look for the top lane tier 2, which is either play is really good for the side of Team B.
Yeah, the rest of Team A coming over to try to
wait,
represent.
K.
Nice pick on the Ariana here from K. Gets about half this Nar's HP for his efforts of a nice Q3. Kizno finding Protoss on the side. Shogo here to be able to fire away. Does not commit the ultimate quite yet. Want to call out that Ariana does have this Rift Herald as well if he wants to plop it down. Tempered Fate comes out. Find its way onto Kizno. Shochi coming over the wall. They will be able to find the follow-up trap. Good damage onto Kizno from that Caitlyn. Does manage to stay alive. Poppy plenty tanky with that steadfast presence passive. K getting marked on the opposite side by Ariana, looking for a little bit of that harass damage, and it does look like Team B making the call that this Otacon is inadvisable, will back away.
It looks like they are not going to commit for the Atakan in that position, so looking for K there by Shogo was completely fine as K moving forward, but Shogo has enough to be able to move around him and does quite a good amount of damage there in that position. The important thing though for Team A, no Herald was used, no Atakan was taken, and they didn't lose anything meaningful in the process. So they are able to try and look a little bit back, try and turn around the situation and see if they can collapse onto another member with in a future play, or maybe try and fight back when Team B commits for the Atakan, go back into a fight and try and get something from there.
An interesting dead ball state here for Team B where they feel strong in their capabilities. They have nice item spikes available to themselves. They have that Rift Herald, but with all the outer turrets already down, it feels difficult to manufacture the right circumstances. There's going to be an all-in from Shochi as Ariana has been chasing onto him. Ace in the hole coming on through. Makes it nice and easy for Team B, though. Enthralled picking up that kill. Brock in the Collector getting the bonus gold. K getting attacked on the opposite side. He is going to commit the all-out, trying to retreat. Didn't have access to the CC immunity, though. Held down. There's going to be a Tempered Fate flashed away from by Cryogen and Mini, and they will evade it, but not able to chase down K regardless. He gets out with his own flash.
Yeah, the problem is that they committed to flashes. They are in that position as Shogo needs to be careful here. You can just commit on the engage if he sees the opportunity here for Shogo, but they are bound to take down this turret here. It should be just a couple of hits. Yeah, Shogo
trying to outplay this
good
1
flash.
versus 2. Going to be forced to flash away.
Wait,
Enthralled stepping up. One more shot will do it. And Enthralled cleans up another. Kizno going to be able to finish off on the U13, making it a 1-for-1 play, and Kizno wants to make it 2. Can he get his way onto Enthralled, though? Another 90 caliber net for another bit of space, and K arrives to fend off the jungler. Enthralled, wealthy, and powerful coming into this later game.
Yeah, able to escape there on the right moment, really important for Enthralled. Not only did they get the turret, they get the kill. Yes, U13 dies, but the shutdown that you get from the Caitlyn is way more valuable than killing U13 in that position. So all in all, not bad for Team B. They're also trying to maybe collapse onto this dragon as Kizno gets find out. Maybe you can see a play here. Now, he's quick enough to be able to escape there, but everyone trying to commit now for this next dragon. Soul point for Team A, second dragon for Team B.
To potentially contest on this dragon. Team B moving into position. Want to make sure to not give over soul point. Again, feeling confident in their ability to play out these fights. Even more armor pen now secured for Enthralled as he finishes off the Lord Dominic's regards.
Protos.
Cryogen thinks he's got a pick
Oh,
onto
Protos is
Protos.
dead.
Protos tossed out the Tempered Fate, didn't find anything.
Oh, not
Execute
enough.
didn't reach. Cryogen doesn't
Oh,
get the death from
no.
below, and Protos stays alive. Now Shogo on just a sliver as the rest of the team will push him back. Shochi going to look for the recall. Protos going to look for the recall. The fact that they don't get the kill there, quite surprising for Team A, but they do stop the Dragon.
Yeah, it's not Dragon anymore, but was it just a little bit off the mark in that position? It looks like because of the position of multiple members,
I think
he's
Summoner
doing
heal
5
pushed him
mini.
out of it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Lucky there in that position, because Cryogen would have gotten the execute, and then looking into the remaining of the fight, that could have been a couple more kills also as K finding Cryogen, but gets stunned here. Can they look for trying to kill K? They are looking for this.
Realm Warp looking for the punish. Fi Mini arrives to the scene. They know
Slow.
that the CC immunity has already been used. They slow him up. He goes in for the all-out. Fi Mini getting chunked over the wall, trying to turn it back on a Fi Mini, but not able to find that last bit of damage. Shogo going to be able to pick up that kill. And Otacon still stands a numbers advantage for Team A, giving them some relief on the map as we go into a pause.
Yeah, pausing it here, maybe questioning why Famini did not die in that position, but that was as close as it could have gotten there in that place. Really, really close for Famini, able to escape just by the skin of his teeth. They do find a really good kill onto K. I think, if I'm not wrong, it went to Shogo, or was it Famini the one that collected it? Well, one of the two members got it, so getting it onto your carries, still really good. The difference is in gold is only 2k, so it's not the most important lead to have at this point in the game. And Anakin still hasn't died yet, neither has the dragon, so there's something to fight for both teams.
Yeah. So, still a close game, despite what the kill score may show. Team A, the really strong team fighting later on that Caitlyn, not the best hyper carry in the world, try to 1v9 the game with as well. Still at risk of getting picked by Cryogen. Fi Mini, scaled up now, has the completed Seraphs, has the fully stacked Rod of Ages. Let's see how dangerous his damage is as he and Shogo are able to work their way through K without too much difficulty. And we do get unpaused. Let's see how this one concludes.
We'll just have to wait and see how both of the teams are trying to look for some displays. I really like this by Ariana, by the way, looking for the side lane pressure. He hasn't had the best of games in terms of his value for solo in solo lane or for solo kills. But here, trying to split push, trying to find value for the rest of the team, it's going to be really ideal as we're just waiting for a little bit more and then waiting to see what the remaining plays are going to be for both sides.
Absolutely. Are in the post-pause territory here. Game should
The
be
pause
underway
for the
again
pause
soon,
after the
and
pause.
here we are. Otacon still up and available, still on the minds of these teams. Ariana getting some alone time on the bottom side, though. K was picked off. Will be able to complete that inner turret and gets a nice influx of gold back over to Team A.
Yeah, able to get quite a bit of good value in that position at the very least. Able to create some pressure on the side where if you leave open the R for a little bit, it can turn into something much more meaningful there in that spot. So at the very least, really good openings that they are able to find. Dragon still left untouched. Nobody going even closer to it, even though there's 3 dragons already taken down. This 4th one looking to be the one that nobody wants.
Yeah, it's rare that you don't see the Otacon fall before the Baron, but these teams are on a knife's edge here. The pick potential on both squads so dangerous, and you know, the ability to actually hard force and engage kind of limited to the likes of U13. He has a lot of power in him here to be able to really start a snap engage if the opportunity is present, but his team composition's still a little bit more centered on that poke and on that pick.
Proto's getting a little bit pulled here, trying to find some more plays on the side. We haven't seen much more attention there by Cryogen to try and look for more plays on the side, but initially he was looking really active all around the map. Obviously, when you're lacking some damage, it's going to be much more difficult as fighting down here by Kay and Ariana. Oh, they ult by the Caitlyn as well, so this could be a dead Gnar.
Yeah, this play has worked for Enthralled previously this game, but
Not enough.
Ariana scaled up enough, tanky enough in the Mega Gnar to be able to withstand the ace in the hole. And knowing that Enthralled is that far bottom, Mini and Kisno feel comfortable to start up this Otacon. They get it to about 2/3. Protoss is going to find them. Cryogen coming in, looking for an engage, does get the hook out of
Protoss
Protoss. There's
gets
the slam
stunned.
into the wall, and down goes Protoss. Nice pick by
Away
teammate to start
Kisno,
things off,
though.
but Kisno losing so much of his
Oh,
health.
the
They do
pullback.
get onto Shochi, though. It's a 2-for-1 so far. Enthralled has arrived back to the scene. Shogo goes over the wall. Shogo has an angle onto Enthralled. Hook connects, and Shogo will pick up the kill over onto U13 now, who's desperately trying to retreat. Chased on by 3 members. Shogo connects the slow.
He's just there.
Ariana has the follow-up, and Shogo is on a killing spree. Team A come alive, find their fight over the Otacon, and their reward will be just that.
Yeah, they are able to find so many good picks here in the Atacant, and now they are going to try and collect the objective itself. Really good play by Cryogen there, locking down Protoss, and the follow-up by the popping in that position by Kisno to lock down on these walls. Really, really good. Surprised that Protoss did not use the ultimate, because with the Tempered Fate, you're able to buy more time for the Caitlyn to arrive and maybe set up a little bit better. But it felt like they committed a little bit too early, and that allowed for teammate to find a better timing. They took advantage of that perfectly, and it's now a much closer game. The lead actually going back in favor to Team A. They can try and get this dragon if they want to. And it's going to be important to see how Team B are going to try and find another team fight where Thrall can free 3.5 items. Shochi and U13 can use their ultimates together and maybe lock down someone with the Tempered Fate as well.
Yeah, that is what we are on the lookout for. The dragon, though, will be falling the way of Team A. They get themselves on a soul point here. Ariana in that classic one-on-one with Kay, feeling like he is getting stronger and stronger after having completed that Black Cleaver to be able to actually have that damage stick. And those extra kills onto Shogo, so huge for him to be able to get online now that he has this Infinity Edge completed.
Yeah, it feels like their damage is going to spike up so heavily now with the Yunara hitting 3 items, as well as the hook goes wide, doesn't connect on anyone, but they are looking really scary every time. Now with this Yunara being able to extra hit you stronger, it's going to be scary to look at it as Cryogen. Maybe he gets collapsed in here. Oh,
Chase here up against K. K losing a lot of HP, but
Yeah,
Cryogen
just
is
died.
just executed by U13. K, though, isolated in this one-on-one up against Ariana, actually waiting for Protoss and Enthralled. And just like that, it's a 5 versus 3 on the map for Team B. Shogo getting a little bit of an angle in mid lane, and will continue the push as they start off onto the Baron. Somebody has to get over here and answer Shogo. Kisno still will come over here with Shogo in tow to see if they can try to find their way on towards the Baron, but Kisno loses so much health to that chunk. Mini still pushing on the bottom side this whole while long. Team A going to see if they can push and pull Team B around the map to try to get something out of a bad situation. But other than crashing this wave, I do not think they will. The Baron will go the way of Team B. Enthralled and U13, able to 2-man it with ease. Shogo has to dip and dive away from the Tempered Fate to avoid getting picked off himself. He will do so. And again, this game will stay close. A close exchanged on both sides.
yeah, it really could go either way. Both teams finding really good picks. Both teams really finding good plays. They are playing the map also, trying to find the right place at the right time. A really good pick that they were able to find on top lane with K baiting so long. And this is one of the things with having the K'Sante or any tank, really. The amount of time it takes you to kill is the amount of time that you give for the other team to arrive there in time and be able to protect the tank. Really good by both sides to be able to play around that as much as possible. And they are now sitting up down here as, oh, Protoss not again.
Oh, now dashing forward on towards Pro.
Much
He is the
damage.
one picked by Mini. Will be able to finish that one up. Hook connects from Cryogen.
Shochi.
It's onto Shochi. He's a little bit out of position here. Manages to return some fire onto Mini. The carries will stay
Good
alive.
pullback.
Another hook from Cryogen. But again, no follow-up here. Shochi counting his lucky stars that he stays alive, but those recalls are going to continue to be harassed away by Cryogen. Shogo and Mini think that they've got an angle onto K. K going to have to flash away. He does get slowed on up. Cryogen coming in on the flank will find U13, who flags the drags out to safety.
Yeah, but in the process, while everything was happening, yes, K escapes, but Gnar is pushing topside. He's taking another turret by himself. He's just doing so much as possible on the side as, oh, Cryogen is dead. Yeah, he knows that.
He's lost track.
He knew. He knew 100% how dead he was. But the good thing is that Team A finds a play topside, and oh, they are trying to collapse him here, though.
Okay, coming on through, double
Perfect
knockup
cancel,
will
yep.
interrupt the Realm Warp. Shogo is one shot, and 5 Mini not long for the world either. Both carries down for Team A. Cryogen still down for 25 seconds. What can Team B get with this window?
Yeah, not gonna lie, I kind of think that even if 5 Mini didn't flash away in that spot, they were going to anyway still lose out on the fight there. So now they are pushing with the Baron Ball. They have enthralled really strong here, and only Oriana and Kisno. I think they should be turrets, inhibitors, and potentially a Nexus turret as well, if they want to commit to it.
Yeah, getting on towards that inhibitor. Still 15
Yeah.
seconds on Shogo, 25
Shochi's not
on
here.
5 Mini. Team B gonna look to finish the game here. Punt out
Oh,
onto
such a good
2.
ulti.
Protoss throws down the Tempered Fate, buys a little bit of additional time. Gnar into the wall, focus damage onto U13, but it's Enthralled that you've got to be worried about. He's the one who's gonna tear through these turrets. Shogo is alive. 5 Mini coming up in 8, and Team B going to have to call it quits on trying to finish the game on this push.
Yeah, the ulti was really good though by Kisno in that position, pushing multiple members away. Yes, nobody died. That was really close there. That nobody died, yes, but the important part is you protect your base. You still have mid lane inhibitor that is the easiest to protect out of every other inhibitor of the game just because it's the center of the map, and then you can try and look a little bit aggressive into the next objective. Dragon spawning in 30, every member is up for the side of both teams, and that means that if Team A gets it, they get soul this time around. Really close there. Proto's not going to be collapsed on here, and U13 is on the side. This could be scary. Oh,
Big
Show is dead.
between worlds from Shochi gets so much damage. Shogo manages to be protected as Cryogen tanks the ace in the hole for him. But Kisno has lost so much health on the back line, trying to distract the rest of these divers away from his carry.
Oh,
He
Kisno's
will
dead.
lose his life for this play. Tries to punt them out, will not be able to get the Keeper's verdict off in time. And it is a numbers advantage for Team B as they await the spawn of this dragon. They
Yep,
should
should
be able
be
to secure
dragon.
it for themselves. Team A will not be getting the soul this time.
Not going to be the soul for the side of Team A. It's another dragon for the side of Team B. And Shogo playing really on the edge on near that wall there as U13 taking a lot of damage, not going to die in that position. But it's really weird how they are trying to position themselves to fight in some of these instances where it could be much better for them if they just looked aggressively on the side as
who's catching who?
Oriana.
Shoshi thought he had a flank
Shochi's dead.
angle, but he's hooked by Cryogen.
Oh, Cryogen is
Enthralled,
alive?
nearly able to one-shot the Pike, but Pike is able to stay alive. Cryogen able to retreat and regen back some of that health. Ariana diving
the
in,
ulti.
getting the Gnar onto 2, but it's Protoss and
Gnar is
U13.
dead,
Enthralled
though.
still untouched. He's going to be able to find Shogo, and Shogo just loses over half his HP to a single bullet from Enthralled. They need to find a way to access this Caitlyn because while he stays safe, watching the rest of his team get gnarred into walls, he is taking names.
So that wasn't necessarily a headshot because if it was a headshot, Shogo would have died. But it was damn near close. That was kind of going to the ear. Or maybe just got an eye instead of the full head. But that was so much damage that Enthralled is able to get there in that position. 6 item strong Caitlyn. Shogo is about to be close to that point as well, nearing the 6 item mark as well. But you can just see the amount of damage that Enthralled is doing at this point in the game, the amount of control that they have at this point in the game with Enthralled, and really, if they get first move into any position, traps are going to be dead, pretty much, at this point in the game.
It's a 6 item Caitlyn, but it can also still get stronger. I do think when you're at 6 items, you should sell the Collector for another like traditional
Agreed.
crit DPS item, some kind of attack speed.
Ooh,
So keep your eyes out for Enthralled to do that. He can
Kisno?
still get deepier. They do have the lockdown onto Kisno, and Enthralled with
Oh,
all this
trap is
armor pen
misplaced.
should be able to work his way through him. Shochi going to be able to find the first of the kills. K is up pretty far, but they only get about half his HP for it. Shogo not finding good opportunities to be able to continue to fire away. Ariana trying to find some of these slows. Cryogen looking to find an angle onto Enthralled, but it's easier said than done. The spell shield will be claimed by the Piltover Peacemaker, and Team B will successfully back away. Jungler down for 35 seconds, and they want this
Baron.
freshly spawned Baron.
Yeah, who's going to work forward here? Traps by the Caitlyn are going to be just death sentence, even though she didn't connect one previously. She still got the kill onto Casino. The Baron buff with no smite against it, it's going to be pretty impossible to be able to steal it unless like something goes really bad. And then now you have a Caitlyn that is able to push into the base really comfortably with Baron buff once again. It's going to be difficult to put a stop onto this, and I like the way that Team B has also played around Enthralled, giving them enough confidence to be able to move forward without having to be scared. And you also have both summoners as well available.
Yeah, another game extending late here. As the difficulty of making
Ariana.
these engage happens becomes more and more apparent. Ariana taking a big chunk there, but the Randuin's Omen will keep his health up for the time being. There is going to be a connection on that Tempered Fate. They will be able to
Ariana's dead.
Ariana for it. Doesn't matter how tanky you are, will drop eventually.
Thank
They will be
you.
able to kick Kizno with the wall bang to lock on down. That's U13. Can they finish him off? They try to punt out other members. There's going to be the Cataclysm.
got the
They're
kill.
able to finish him off inside his own pit. Now Cryogen stepping forward, looking to see if they can find some more. Shogo is up here with the damage. Flash forward from Enthralled, claims the support, looking for Shogo. Another headshot will nearly finish the AD carry on its own. Mini shows up to try to return some damage, but Enthralled is just too dangerous. They get another stun into the wall, but Kizno, he's got no carries to bring in the damage. Enthralled is still at half HP, and he's tearing through these towers.
Yeah, and it looks like they are going to keep on pushing here because they have minions in mid, minions in top, and a really, really strong Enthralled on the Caitlyn here, pushing just as best as they can as 3 members alive. Ariana just about
4.
to come back. Oh, trap not
ATP
enough there as
comes
well.
Through. A little bit of headshot damage on towards Kizno. K is falling low, though. Shogo waiting for his moment to strike. It's a deep TP from Ariana, going to try to prevent any escape route from presenting itself.
Wait.
And it's going to be Shochi sacrificing himself to try to slow them down more. Does get the kill onto Kizno, but he will drop for it on the backside. Execution from Cryogen will get the first of his resets. Enthralled gonna be the next one to fall. He goes inside of the Guardian Angel. Ariana still throwing out boomerangs. Another execution from Cryogen. Enthralled is back up. Gnar into the wall. Triple killed a Cryogen. And U13 is the last one standing at the 2 versus 1 on Summoner's Rift.
Of course, it's the 2 members, Cryogen and Ariana, looking really strong here, even though Ariana hasn't had the best of games, finding really good angles to make them work out as much as possible. Oh, Cryogen needs to be careful here.
Oh, looking for the play, but he gets stunned by the
perfect there.
So now Ariana has an angle to chase
You
him
may
down.
die here
U13, a desynced death
not
timer.
enough.
Maybe a mistake here. Thought he could pick off the
This is
support,
so-
but he's outgunned. He falls down. That's an ace to Team A. U13 down for 55 seconds. Dragon Soul
Wait.
right for the taking. Kizno respawning now.
Look at
A
Base.
major error from the Team B jungler.
Yeah, but Base is dying in the process. They lost out on 1 Nexus turret. Yes, they are going to get the Ocean Soul here unless there is teleport by Shochi.
This is a teleport from Mini though. What can Shochi do?
Oh,
Cryogen
no.
trying to mark him. In comes the between worlds.
He gets
Shochi steals away the dragon. Are you kidding me? For the
that worth, though?
third dragon to Team B. Soul denied by the heroics of Shochi.
That's really good healing they are going to be getting from the side of Team B with 3 Ocean Souls. If they can get the 4th one, the Soul here, that's going to be so good for them. As we see, also, the Bard going for the Leandra Storming here just to add onto the damage there. But the game really could go either way. Most members now reaching the 6 item mark. Both AD carries at the very least, both having 6 items. This is going to be such a strong AD carry duel between both of them, and if they can find either of them badly positioned, they can die because neither has a flash at this point in the game.
Yeah. So dangerous for anybody to be walking around without flash right now. Pick potential of both teams still here. Enthralled on the flank, doesn't have the Guardian Angel. It's a flash in from Kizno, but he's on top of the trap. Tempered Fate comes out for Protoss, does not find its way on towards anybody. Cryogen with the spell shield still available, looking to make the pick happen onto anybody, but it's going to be a magical journey through the wall to get back to safety for Protoss.
The hooks are so big here at this point. The way that they are playing around with it, the way that they are trying to make the use out of them, it's so ideal for them. And the traps really could save a life, or also could end up messing you up if you're not careful. As Shochi on the side, Mini trying to look for a point and click angle, and everyone is just trying to position themselves to collapse onto Enthralled here as
Shochi shows a little
Shogo
bit
is
there.
about to die.
Cryogen looking for the
Shogo is
hook.
dead.
Will find it on towards K, but so many members already blown up. As you called out, Shochi managed to one-shot Shogo. Mini now has all the DPS expectations in his head.
Ooh.
It's going to be Cryogen coming in to find that execution from the depth from below, but still the numbers are in favor of Team B. Cryogen and Mini retreat away. The wave clear that Mini brings to the table might allow them to hang on for longer, but they need a path onto Enthralled. It needs to come from Cryogen.
It really feels like it's going to be Cryogen here, the one pulling it off. I mean, he has a lot of damage as well, but one hit.
Oh,
Oh no, the trap
Temper-K
is
finds
down.
its way onto Mini.
Enthralled
He's
is dead.
doomed. The double
Oh,
headshot
What
combo
by
from
Mini?
Enthralled. Cryogen doing his best to be able to disrupt
That's
it, but
it.
it just can't be done. Cryo trying his best
That's
to
it.
cut the wave, but it's coming from top side as well. The team fight success from Team B is all it
That's
takes
it.
to close out game number 2. Team B even the score.
And such a big last team fight of the game. We talked about it, right? Lack of flashes were going to play a part in it. Lack of potential play around your AD carries is going to be crucial as well. And then also the way that they were going to set it up. Finding Shogo in that spot, so well done by Shochi, being able to utilize the ultimate to burst out the Yunara in such an easy manner, and then killing the remaining members is so big. Really good play at the end there, really nicely done the way that they are able to pull it up, and at the end, we see it there, the Caitlyn that was really strong, maybe getting collapsed on a couple of times that wasn't needed, still able to close it out with a 21-4-7 score mark there. Really good game by Enthralled, and I want to shout out Protoss and Shochi as well. I think they found really great angles in multiple team fights.
Definitely. You'd think of the Caitlyn as this early game pick that just sieges on these turrets and tries to snowball that lead into a game win, but when the opposing comp is Gnar, Poppy, Pyke, they don't have any really reliable engage tools to be able to force these fights, to be able to reach the backline. The range advantage represented by the Caitlyn, it shows through in droves here for Enthralled. 21-4-7, 70k damage. A massive showing on this Caitlyn, despite an early deficit, which is usually a death sentence for Caitlyn. Comes
it's
up
a lot.
big.
It's still a lot of damage that the Caitlyn is able to get anyway, and I think that one of the biggest things here for this game that really end up mattering for how the Caitlyn played it out is the lack of straightforward engage, right? Because, and we talked about this in draft, right? Like, I like the idea, but then if the Caitlyn gets really far ahead, the lack of straightforward engage really plays a part in how easily or effective it is to kill her out. And I think the Team A did a really good job at trying to lock down the Caitlyn. You could see it in multiple times. Cryogen's Pyke angles were amazing to really try and lock down the Caitlyn or find the Caitlyn. Same for Kizno trying to move around or skirt around the team fighting from the Caitlyn as well. And then Ariana as well finding angles. Even when they were far behind, they found really good plays. Even though they didn't have a straightforward engage, they were still able to make the plays happen, and it made the game closer than it needed to be, probably.
It really did. But Team B pull it out at the end. Very well played there by them to be able to find those last few picks and those last few team fights, able to isolate Shogo and stop the late game Yunara from able to have those big carry performances. That's going to do it for game number 2. We do have one more matchup between these two teams tonight, so you do not want to go anywhere. We're going to throw to a quick break while they ready up for draft. But again, we will be back with our third and final game of the night, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the Cyto Combine, where we have our third and final game coming up between these two squads. It is 1-1 so far between Team A and Team B. Blue side winning both games. Excited to see how this draft will play out for our third and final match of the night.
Yeah, and it looks like it's Team B backing blue side and Team A backing red side, so there's going to be some mix-ups here and there. I want to see if there's another flex potential with how some of their champions may end up going through, as well as some of the bans that we are going to see. But obviously, Asira can never fail to appear in one of these games. Asir is really strong. I'm not sure if I remember the right stat, but I'm pretty sure he's actually perma picked and banned so far in Worlds, where like every game he's available he gets picked, and if not, he's just completely banned away because of how strong this champion is right now. And it makes sense. It just provides so much value. So first pick it is, and first pick makes complete sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'd certainly believe it. Whether it's true or not, this champion,
True.
it just does a little bit of everything, right? It's just safe in
Yeah.
lane. It can be engage, it can be DPS, can rule off pretty much any position that you'd want from a mid laner on one character. So definitely not a surprise to see the priority focused on it there. If they are going back to their sides from game number 1, that would be a Phi mini Azir, assuming that he is back on blue side. So certainly would be powerful for him. That does mean Kay going to be back on that Rumble for the second time tonight, this time facing off against Ariana's Jax. If you want to call out, both teams still have their flex picks left available. They
Yeah.
can go for any champion on the roster for those, and it does look like they're likely to be going towards bottom lane again, though maybe not for red side. This could be a mid lane Ziggs for Shochi to counter out the
Yeah.
Azir. Is a known Azir counter. Could also go bot lane alongside this Nico.
Yeah, the thing is that there is quite a good amount of magical damage already on the side of Team B, so they need to close it out with a really strong physical damage dealer on B side. So I'm expecting to see a normal AD carry. The Saya makes complete sense in that situation. They do take away the Rakan, so the engage potential of Team A is going to be really good. You have the Rakan, the Jarvan, and the Kaisa all going in. Even the Asir can do as well. And then also the Jax can come in from a flank angle. As far as team fighting go, I think both teams have quite a good team fight setup when you really look at the team fighting potentials that they have. Plus also the amount of like burst damage that they can bring forth with some of their ultimates. It can be just a really quick snap engage and then kill someone before they even react to.
And Team A, no champion off the list. I don't know if they get extra brownie points for that, but they do come away picking only champions from the established Week 3 pool. Every single one of these on that list. The Xayah going to be the additional flex pick that comes on through here for Enthralled on Team B, alongside Protoss on the Nico. That Nico, notable in that it's been banned away in both games so far. This will be the first time we get to see it here tonight.
Yep.
And we've seen at Worlds just how powerful it can be. The snap engages, the AoE power that the Pop Blossom brings to the table can be so good.
Yeah, the camouflage engage as well, like you can never expect where it's going to come from. The clone as well can be really good to just dissuade some of the initial plays and even just control the vision. In general, the idea of the Nico here can be really good, and I like the setup that it can bring with both the ultimate from the Nico, the ultimate from the Rumble, and then the ultimate from the Ziggs. Like if you get a 2 or 3 man knockup, those two ultimates following up on the engage can just immediately blow out somebody that is quite squishy or that it's not expecting it to come through. Then on the other side, looking at how the lanes are going to go a little bit. You have a lot of control coming in from Team A in terms of like what Faimini can accomplish with some of the control that he has in lane with the Seer. Also, the fact that you can try and lock down Ziggs even though he has the bomb to escape away. He's one of those targets that you can kill if you're able to get on top of him really comfortably. And then also, I want to see how Ariana plays it out this time around, because on the first game, did a really good job at trying to kill K's Rumble and did so a couple of times on the Mbessa. Now on the Jax, I want to see if he can replicate that and also get control of the side lanes as well really quickly.
Yeah, completely agree there. The Jax can definitely bring a lot of additional value both in the split push game and in that kind of flanky, engagey sort of game. But it is a pick that needs to be able to get some gold onto it. So
Yeah.
eyes on how he'll be able to interact with K's Rumble early on and if he will be able to build up that kind of lead 1v1 once again. We also want to call out the hard engage now a little bit more available for Team A back on the blue side this time, with Cryogen piloting this Rakan and the addition
Yep.
of the Jarvan from Kisno. Felt like that was something that was really missing from both teams last game. Allowed that game to drag on so long and make things, real messy later on, as both teams are just kind of fishing around for picks, relying on the Bard and the Pike to come on through and find some of those engages. Now with Rakan and Jarvan both on your side, you have the Kai'Sa to dive into the back line as well. I think it's really well set up for Team A. Team B still going to need to be the first ones on these sorts of plays, rely on their harassment from the Ziggs to be able to force people out and be able to get into those big engage angles from the Xin Zhao and the Nico as a little bit of a later time, either as a counter engage or as some sort of flank from having set up first and forcing them to come into you.
Yeah, and one of the funny things with both of these team compositions is that I think that the disengage potential is much lesser compared to the engage potential. Obviously, you have the Xin Zhao ulti to pull away people in case they want to go in, or you also have the Asir ultimate, the Emperor's Divide, to try and push them in case they want to overcommit on the side of Team B. But realistically, this looks like a game of who can get the better engage to start of a fight and how quick can you blow up someone before the rest of the fight can continue. Because once again, we mentioned the Nico, Rumble, and Six combo can be really strong if they can lock down their ultimates together. And then the engage follow-up from the Rakan, the Jarvan, and then also the Kai'Sas here coming in from the back can be really strong as well. Like, you have a lot of tools to be able to blow out targets really quickly before they even realize what's happening, and they need to be able to combine them really effectively. I feel like both of the previous games we've seen really strong team fighting ideas from both sides. Team A and Team B, I think, have had really good team fights in both games. And this game could be like just a combination of who can out team fight the other much better with some of their composition ideas.
That is going to be the challenge here. As we are waiting to get onto Summoner's Rift, should be loaded on here in just a moment or two. Does solidify, by the way, that it is going to be that Ziggs counter into the Azir.
Yep.
So we'll see how Mini on one of his signature picks will be able to navigate up against the range advantage that poke Ziggs does bring to the table. It's one of the few ways to really try to punish the Azir in lane. We talked about how this is the champion that can really do everything. It is this range advantage that picks like the Ziggs bring to the table that can are one of the few things that really can get you an advantage and can keep this Azir on the back foot.
Yeah, and pushing it the Asir, also being able to take a lot of control off of the Asir, because one of the things that the Six does have as well is the pushing power. Like, you can consistently push, and it's going to be difficult to escape against it, as Crygen takes a lot of damage here. Not enough to die nor force a flash, but that's a lot of damage anyway.
Gonna be pushed back for the time being. Team B going to take full advantage. They get that early vision down from Enthralled on the Xayah. He throws on down that ward on the red buff, so going to try to keep an eye on Kisno throughout the early game from that. Will be a return ward on the opposite side, but it's only on the birds. Don't think it'll make too big of a difference, though. I think both junglers will end up spotted as they cross over these.
And we're going to actually starting off on the top side, both junglers this time around. I think one of the things we noticed in the previous games as well is that both junglers started almost always opposite side of the map. This time around, they are actually going to start similar, so they are going to collapse onto each other really effectively here. So we're bound to see maybe a little bit more fighting down here in the bot side with the way that some of these lanes can end up going, with Enthralled and Protoss having push potential thanks to being double ranged, and also Crygen having the potential to engage into some of these members as well. We may see just a little bit more fighting down there on the bot side, and also maybe fight for more control of the dragon, because in the first game it was Team B with full control of the dragons getting the soul early on. Didn't pan out for a victory, but they get the dragon soul really early on. And then in the second game it was Team A having a little bit more counter control on that and gaining their objectives much better themselves.
Yeah. See if that's going to remain the case coming into the next round. It's Protoss already trying to use the minion form to get a little bit of extra advantages there. I do believe the mechanics are still in place where you could do fancy stuff like immune. Well, yeah, the cannon for sure, but also more minor things that APA really popularized. Stuff like you can change into a minion to prevent some of those runes from triggering and things like that. Can also definitely be very powerful.
Yeah, the small, minute details out of the Nico that can be like really fun to see. I, for one, am a huge advocator of not removing the cannon mechanic. Like, I think that's something that should stay in game, but not in its current form. But it's something that if you're able to master, can be really, really good.
I don't know, that one's a lot, but I do like the.
I think it
the
needs
rest
to be
of it
tweaked.
I do also think the the rune one is like very unintuitive. Like you can
Yeah.
bypass bone plating. Hang on a second, Ariana and Kay both going at it here, getting themselves both pretty low, but neither will end up falling down. Shogo and Cryogen going to have the wave shoved in here. They are also already at level 3, going to look for some of this harassment down onto Protoss' Nico, who is lower HP than it may initially appear.
Yeah, we always get a little bit distracted by the health bar being quite big there on the side. But like you're mentioning, Ariana doing a really good trade onto Cave and blowing the flash out of K already. So similar to what we saw in the first game, already being much more active, much more impactful in that top lane 1v1. And then a little bit of fighting down here for the Scar Cup. You able to get it early on because of the spotting that they were able to do onto Kisno. So the control on the bot side is favoring the side of Team B as Engage goes through. Cryogen, good Engage.
Able to retreat in time here. Cryogen not going to be able to find the Grand Entrance, but not going to face too much punishment for it, as both top laners have now also expended their TP. Grand Entrance will come on through, only lands onto the clone. Protoss will be just fine, and Thrall gets a nice feather pull
Good
back
damage.
to chunk out quite a bit onto Cryogen, and the Tangle Barbs from Protoss connect as well, letting Shogo take a little bit extra. So good fight back from the Team B bottom lane. They're not done yet, and Thrall continuing to look for more with double daggers.
Yeah, that much overall down there really good for both sides. They're taking each other down quite a bit. Although Enthrall is the one that has benefited the most out of anything because he's currently really far ahead in terms of health bar. Also strong in terms of the minions that he's been able to obtain. And now trying to push into Shogo and Cryogen as much as possible as they're going to back now here. But I really like how well Enthrall has been playing this early laning phase as well. Ooh, good stop
He
there.
is kind of left out to dry, though. Grand Entrance
Protoss.
will connect. That's an isolated to Kathy and Rain, and Protoss is forced to flash. Desynced from Enthrall.
Sacrifice his flash for the good of his AD carry, because Protoss actually stopping the W from connecting onto Enthralled when he was backing. Really, really nice with the clone movement. It does mean that Protoss blows his flash away, but should be back up for any sort of level 6 play that they are going to try and pull off there. Not going to be good to lose out on your flash in this position, especially because Cryogen can almost always engage on you really effectively. But at the very least, you can see a potential there for Protoss to try and wait it out until level 6 and then play it off with a flash. Not the worst in the world, really.
Am I crazy? I thought Yu was on Xin Zhao in the draft. It does turn out that that's the Trundle.
Yeah, it was Xin Zhao actually on the draft thingy.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, comparable in their role in the composition, but noteworthy that this will have like a little bit of extra sustained potential in some of these siege scenarios, and you know, of course, can be an interesting pick setup with stuff like the Ziggs and other kind of these skill shots he sees alongside the pillar. Maybe a little bit less dive, though, than the Xin Zhao. No real good dash to be able to get in out of the backside. So even more indexing Team B in towards this. You need to counter-engage. You need to absorb
look at that.
engage sort of setup as Kisno finds his way into Shochi. Shochi realizes he is dead. He is just going to try to bust everything onto the wave to make sure he does not get denied any CS.
Yeah, there was close to 0 chance there of Shochi escaping unless he flashed immediately after the engage there. But even then, Kisno can follow up and kill you. So really good play there by 5mini to set up the kill. Cryogen almost dying there in this position as well. And you can really see how good the setups can be for Team B if you're able to lock down some of these targets that are quite squishy and doesn't have a lot of mobility. You're able to blow them up really quickly.
Definitely. Nice start for Team A here in getting the gold right where they want it on towards 5minis Azir. He's also doing just fine in the CS department, even with Shochi managing to fully clear out that wave. So the Ziggs counter pick not really manifesting itself, at least not for these first 7.5 minutes. See what he's able to accomplish as we get over more towards the mid game and the differences in wave clear become more apparent.
Yeah, one team having a little bit more than the other, maybe. But so far, at the very least, not being as impactful as we see a lot of trading on both sides of the map. Ariana here trying to trade onto K, although K has a good lead in terms of CS and experience, means that right now, even though the... quick ulti there.
Cryogen locked down by the Tangle Barbs in one shot by a beautiful blade caller from Enthralled. Shogo
Shogo.
now going to be the next target. Chased down and finished off.
Just like that, a couple of kills down there at the bot side. Really good ultimate there by Enthralled, and a huge amount of damage. Cryogen was not expecting that at all, because he didn't even pop heal at that point. He could have just survived by the skin of his teeth there with the heal, but not able to at the time. That means another kill. Oh, Kisno, really good.
Okay, falling low, finished off by Ariana. 2-2 on the scoreboard here. Enthralled and Protoss really giving Team B something to hope for there in that bottom lane, though, as they build themselves up a lead. These grubs should go over the way of Team A, though, with K finished off. Let's see if U13 feels otherwise. Protoss as a minion wandering up here as well. You'd better believe that's not a normal
Who would
AI
that be?
controlled minion wandering into the river. And it seems that Kisno and Cryogen are aware of this as well. Mini coming in on the side. They do go for this engage. They see Protoss as a minion, and they will dive right onto him.
Great stun there.
With the help of Ariana's stun. That's going to be the feat of warfare as
Ariana's
well.
alive.
Flash forward to be able to finish off the kill onto Ariana. Commits the Cataclysm as well. Bouncing Bomb will not find its way onto Cryogen, and Kisno will make it a 2-for-1. Forced underneath the turret is Shochi. He has to blow his flash as Shogo arrives to assist in the battle, and this should be a full 3 grubs to Team A.
Yeah, Shogo is carrying them a little bit there with the flash, able to push away, Shochi flashing away, and then they find really good success there, Team A. Really nice couple of kills they were able to get, and also the way that they are able to also lock down onto the grubs is really important for them. All in all, really nice couple of plays. Now, the main worry that I would have if I'm on Team A is the fact that Enthralled is 1-0-1, ADCS so ahead of the Kaiser really comfortably, and then also even though they do get the grubs, the Dragon did go initially to the side of Team B, so they still have good stacking that they can play around with, and as long as they don't fall really far behind, Enthralled and Shochi can be really scary on those Dragon fights.
Definitely can. Going to be choosing to dedicate more resources towards Enthralled rather than coming over to contest for those grubs. Still, 3 grubs feels so good when you're the Jax composition. Although here's an engage found its way onto Shogo. Pop Blossom will allow K to finish off the kill. And now Cryogen is in too deep as well. Will give over the double kill to K, who's feeling much better after being taken down early on.
Yeah, not a bad kill to get there. Really good. They are able to collapse onto that play, finding both Shogo and Cryogen in that position. And this time around, maybe not having the strongest of games. They have been able to find a couple of plays here and there, but not having the best showing so far. And K, able to get that kill there, able to get even the gold onto the turret. That means that he's going to be having his first item for a mid-game fight, which can be really impactful when thinking about the value of the Rumble, the amount of damage that the Equalizer will be able to do, and Protoss setting him up with the team fighting potential. It's going to be really good for them.
For sure. And now, getting back into the traditional lane setups here, a nice lead for K. You gotta believe in gold, thanks to the fact that he was able to pick up that double kill, has a CS advantage as well. See if Ariana is able to find some successful trades and utilize these grubs to pick up some additional plate gold. So we are neck and neck in the global gold, all things considered. Ariana looking for battling right away. Both junglers arriving.
Ariana.
Full on 2-on-2. Ariana can't get away though. Going to commit the ultimate.
Oh, good flash there by K.
Big Cataclysm from Kisno will hold K in place. He
gets
the pull back through. K is so incredibly low. 1 leap strike away from dropping. Shuffle in from Mini. Will get in there with the Emperor's Divide, and Ariana will clean up the kill onto K.
So well played on both sides. Really good flag and drag there by Kisno. The Cataclysm as well was quite nice to lock them down. I think K flashing over the flag and drag, almost setting himself up on top of of Orianna, so that he could get the kill onto the Jax really quickly. But then the follow-up there by Kisno was really good. And then Mini moving around on time, able to get on top of the members and getting a couple more kills there. The game, once again, really close. The gold lead really close between each other. The fact that, once again, it's Enthralled, the one that it has been keeping himself up as far ahead as possible. Plus, Shochi also able to get quite a bit of a lead. It's a good thing for the side of Team B because they are not far away or far behind the side of Team A. This may be a fight, actually, because there's a couple of members here ready to fight it out. K has no teleport.
Yeah, looking to see if they'll be able to contest here. Not looking like it. U13 will be able to secure the smite onto the second dragon. Shogo sees an angle onto Shochi, though. They commit in the quickness from Cryogen, but Shochi deftly evades it. Jumps away, avoids getting charmed, and will survive as a result.
Just needed some dynamite and able to run away really comfortably here as really nice stun there by Protoss, although they want to kill Protoss here. Really quick flash there, really nice escape in that position. And now the map is a little bit more controlled for the side of Team A. They are looking a little bit more aggressive, trying to get more control in their favor so that their team fighting can be much better. And 5mini also trying to get quite a bit of damage onto K here.
Yeah. Oh, and there is going to be a clear out of the wave from 5mini. Okay, incredibly low here. 5mini wants to be able to keep him here if he can. They will commit the equalizer just to try to clear out the wave, and that is K's signal to get out of there.
Yeah, has to run away as quickly as possible as Ariana going to get, oh, really good cancel there. Ariana
Be nearly killed by the Mega Inferno Bomb, but Ariana
Just
will
enough.
get away, and he will even get the credit for the plate.
just enough to survive. Not bad for Oriana there. Has to flash away though, so now the Jack's not going to have that flashed for a future fight. But all in all, still quite nice to be able to get that. The plate goal going so much in favor of the side of Team A has net them this small lead that they can be making the most out of, plus that extra kill. And then also the fact that in terms of CS, they are not that far behind. It's only really K that has a good lead onto their counterpart. The in mid lane is pretty equal and bot lane is pretty equal, and I think it really goes to show how both teams are just as close as possible as they can be and not really giving an inch to any other side.
Definitely spotting out around this top side now. Both teams looking to both make and cover a play respectively. Shochi doing a good job of keeping these waves cleared out. Kizno hiding within the bushes. But actually being able to make this play feels quite difficult. U13 is going to get spotted by that ward. We'll spot the ward getting thrown down, but it looks like Cryogen doesn't care. He might look to get this play started anyway. Positioning himself behind Shochi, and Shochi will retreat.
Yeah, not much able to be obtaining that position. Going to just try and protect the turret a little bit more, but probably going to lose it out as Ariana once again engaging onto K and finding so much value in the process. But you know that you cannot go back in there, K. Probably Ariana kills you now with level 11 ultimate. So going to just be a much more quiet continuation of the game compared to how it started as, oh, just as I said that,
Cryogen willing to just get this started onto you. They'll take any target they can find. You going to flash up.
you!
Shogo, killer instinct into the back line. Will be able to take him down, and there's going to be Cataclysm onto 2. Flashed away from Shochi, able
Oriana.
to escape the Protoss. No such luck. Ariana getting turned onto. K at sub 100 HP stands, fights, and burns down Ariana.
Yeah, Ariana committed there trying to get the kill. I respect the idea, but just not enough damage to be able to close it out. And K just on the side burning him down until he was not able to breathe anymore. Really good play there, responding nicely to what happened topside. Even though U13 died, they are able to respond in some manner. That being said, it is Rip Herald dying here in the process, so it's Kizno getting it right now and Throat gets hit, but there's no ultimate on Shogo. There's not enough follow-up to even try and threaten Enthralled at all, even though there's no flash on the Saya.
Definitely not. To find out if they can find their way to punish that absence of flash. For now, just clearing out their camps, awaiting the next objective. 1 minute to go until this next Dragon Team B, stacking up 2 of those already. You know it is going to be a priority to be able to get out of that soul point, especially given how some of these fights have gone so far. But Team A already well and truly in position, and the side lane threat of Ariana cannot be understated. While K did pick up that solo kill earlier, you could see it was from an all-in that Ariana started and very nearly won.
Yeah, that's going to keep on happening. I'm pretty sure Ariana will want to try and kill K as much as possible if he gets the chance, so not surprising if it happens once again. But one thing I've liked is 5mini being able to provide so much pressure on the side lane, multiple times going top lane, going bot lane, getting both turrets down now, creating some more pressure over on the map, and that means that at the very least for the side of Team A, there's going to be more chances for them to try and look aggressively into that side lane. Something that did happen in the previous game by Ariana, and this time 5mini is the one that is trying to create more pressure that way.
Now 5mini back on his Azir, having a much stronger performance this time around. Not able to be shut down by the Ziggs mid pick and showing up just in the nick of time for several of these fights early on in this game. Puts himself in a very strong position, not quite on 2 items, but close to it. And they are going to get a charge off on this Rift Herald. Will get on in there. He does get stopped by the Trundle Pillar. Well played by you to stop
So
it
funny
from
how that
getting in
works out.
there. Yeah, Ariana now going to get isolated by K. Thinks he wants this one-on-one, though. These guys completely isolated at this stage. Ariana willing to be
flash
on
in.
top of the equalizer if it gives him more time with K. And K will be forced to flash in response. Ultimates and flashes blown by both top laners. Health advantage for Ariana. Diving forward.
Again?
One more
Oh,
empowered
no.
strike, and Ariana gets the solo kill. Now it's up to Shochi to be able to get up here. Mega Inferno Bomb coming in. Ariana not able to evade it in time. And Shochi will make it a 1-for-1, but that's going to be time that the rest of the team can work on this dragon. No Mega Inferno Bomb, no equalizer. Team A get their first dragon of the game.
Yeah, Rihanna may have killed K there and died in the process, but it's another dragon, or at the very least a dragon for them as, Kizno and
Quickness on
Crygen.
to 2. Kizno with the
double
follow-up
one.
gets in there with the Cataclysm. Nowhere left to go.
She's dead.
Mini will finish him off with the soldiers. Now Enthralled taking several shots as well. Cryogen is in there. Enthralled is locked down. Stays alive thanks to the barrier, but Shogo gets them both with one Ecathian Rain. K TPing onto the back line, but he finds that he does not have too many teammates left to work with. Shogo flashes in,
Shochi.
isolates Shochi, and finishes him off. Well played by Shogo the whole fight
Wanna
long,
kill
and now
K.
it's K who has to retreat, having wasted his teleport. Team A stamped their mark on game number 3 and are now truly in a dominant position.
They wanted to have a go at K, but at the end it doesn't really matter because now the lead much better in favor of the side of Team A. They not only got the dragon, they got a lot of value out of those teleports, multiple kills. Shogo also now 4-2-1. Same for Mini 4-0-4. And this point of the game is really, really strong for the side of Team A. They are even going to try and put more pressure on the side. Ariana also now, the fact that he can kill K on command essentially means that you need to be extra careful about who you send to the side lane to try and respawn onto the Jax. And then also it means that you have to be really careful about the plays that can happen on the other side of the map, because one great thing that Team A also have is really quick damage, or really quick damage dealing potential to the objectives. Mini on this here and Shogo on the Kai'Sa melt objectives really quickly.
Definitely do, and gets overshadowed in that last fight by the performances of the carries, but Cryogen and Kizno showing the power that having access to this snap engage gives you. We all talked about it all game 2, how it was just tough for these teams to start fights. Rakan doing a lot to make that easier, and he just pulls the trigger, sets up for a big Cataclysm, and is able to make it an easy fight for the likes of Mini and Shogo.
Yeah, trying to look a little bit more there. Okay, he's probably dead here.
Yep.
Yep.
Really well
Difficult to
timed
know.
on that stun. Here comes Protoss
Protoss.
trying to start a fight. It's going to get pushed back away by Mini, but the Mega Inferno Bomb has enough burst to execute the Azir. That's going to cost him half those Darksteel stacks.
Yeah, the angle that they find there is really good as well, because it was Protoss getting in farther deep than Mini was expecting, and that meant that in the process there was not going to be enough opportunity there to try and push them far away before the ultimate was going to connect. That's why at the end we see Mini dying in that position, a really good shutdown that Enthralled gets, and it's going to be the most, or the more likely difference maker for the remainder of the game is having Enthralled be far ahead. Because if the Saya can kill any target on the other team, that's probably going to be your best way to try and win the game out.
Cryogen trying to clear away vision here. U13 on his way over. He does get it, and you a little slow on the attempted pillar. Like the idea. Could have knocked Cryogen out of that and put him in a dicey situation, but better luck next time.
Could have worked out much better on this play, but certainly they still will have opportunities as they find Cryogen here.
Yeah. And
No.
again, pushed to the wrong side
Yeah.
by the pillar. It's tough. And you're up against a very quick Rakan, and Cryogen he is nothing if not persistent. He
Yep.
continues to try to mess around with the vision on this top side. Doesn't matter how many times he sees that you is here, doesn't manage to actually pick him, and therefore he will continue to engage in shenanigans. Mini deep behind enemy lines, though. Gonna have to try to find a way to escape from this one. Enthralled waiting for him on the other side. He's gonna shuffle them back on through, trying to trade 1-for-1. Enthralled stays alive. Yu is covering the
Ooh.
approach from Shogo and Cryogen. And it will be a successful disengage. Mini just gets too big for his britches, caught in enemy lines.
Oh, wait, okay. Again, getting engaged on a little bit here. Not going to die, and that was ultimate by Ariana. Wait, actually.
Hey, just
Oh.
stays way too long. He gets away, but he stops running backwards. And Ariana dives the turret to finish him off. Now Ariana, with a clear path out of here, has Cryogen covering him on the other side. Mega Inferno buff.
Oh,
won't
not enough.
be enough to kill Ariana. Good move to pop the counter-strike for the reduction to AoE damage, but it's just not enough. Arcane Comet finishes the kill.
Yeah, the Comet on the side, able to escape in that position as Kizna wants to try and force a little bit more. Well, Shochi's out of position, actually.
Well, yeah, who's flanking who here? Shochi tries to dive in, but he's still stuck inside the Cataclysm.
just
Kizno
dead.
just solos him out. Cryogen,
Oh, and Shogo's
dipping
coming.
and diving, stays alive the whole fight long, and now here's Shogo
Oh, no,
to
you-
finish the job. A quick plasma proc will execute U13.
And Atacon
And
is
a
right
numbers
there.
advantage to Team A as they march to Otacon.
Yeah, they will get Atacon more than likely here, and Baron is also spawning in 50 seconds. They could potentially look for it if case they do think that they have enough damage to go for it. As Dragon, though, on the other side of the map, Enthralled is trying to rush to try and get it. There are 3 members nearby, but I'm not sure if they are going to be able to rush it down before some of the members from the side of Team A arrived here. They are ambitious as well.
Nice pickup on that inner turret for Mini. The Dragon
Oh,
Ooh, will be secured by Enthralled, but was looking very close there. Proto snags a Tangle Barbs, but no follow-up available. Cryogen here to back up his AD carry. So while they do secure themselves Soul Point, I mean, losing that isolated inner turret, that's so much money out of Mini.
yeah, Fireman is getting stronger and stronger. Like, yes, he may have died a couple of times now, but he's getting closer to that last item. Oh, Shochi.
Caught out and
Oh.
nearly executed by Mini. Mini flashes after
Yeah.
will finish the job.
Yeah, fair enough there. Just the last tick on the flash to be able to kill Shochi. And once again, Baron was about to spawn. They have so many good damage dealing champions for objectives like the Baron buff here. And they are more than likely going to get it, as Shochi will take a while to respawn and also doesn't have teleport either. Really good play there by Mini. Really nice collapse. And they are wanting to go for something similar here onto Ariana, but just feels like Kay can die at any point. Oh, Ariana as well.
Yeah, it gets 2-man. The team gets Baron for this. He's fine with that. Will be on the death timer for a little while, but can type worth in all chat.
Yeah, at least the one that you kill is one of the split pushers, so you're going to take down a little bit of the utility out of that Baron buff quite a bit. Because with the Jax, that would have been a much stronger Baron buff push. Now, it's going to be bad, but not as bad.
So, we have a moment of peace in an otherwise violent game. 29 kills in 26 minutes. Past the standard kill a minute metric. And not looking like it's going to slow down anytime soon. 3 items on Shogo. I think it's standing out to me right now. This guy can certainly work his way through any health bar that he encounters if he gets the angle in the fight. And so far, Kizno and Cryogen have done a great job setting up for him.
Yeah, the engage potential by the side of Team A this game has been so good. It really goes to show that if they had engaged on the first 2 games, they probably could have forced a couple of things much better than what they had at the time. But this time around, with the Rakan, with the Jarvan, they can find... Oh,
Catch with
Protoss!
a 5 mini. Oh, but they managed to execute Protoss before the Pop Blossom comes out.
Probably dead.
Now into the backline goes Shogo. Executes
dead.
Enthralled. U13 is up next. He does get chomped,
that's
which
it?
will reduce his AD, but he has no
Oh,
problem
Shogo.
finishing off each and every member of Team B.
No
Triple
way.
kill to
Shochi's dead as
Shogo.
well.
Shochi is isolated. That's going to be the game,
That's
TDS.
it.
It's an ace for 5 Mini's life. Team A, Baron buff at their backs, crush the team fight, and will win out the series 2-1.
What a way to finish out the game and the series as well. Such a quick decision making there to really force the play, and at the end, I like the idea by Protoss. I think the right idea there was to commit there if you are able to find 5 Mini in that spot. But maybe if he had I'm not sure if he had the flash because I feel like it was coming back up just now, and then he committed the engage. But either way, like if he committed the flash, maybe they could have found a little bit more. He still got exploded even before he was able to get onto anyone else. Like he died really quickly, and the snap engage by the remaining members by Team A was so good as well.
Yeah, and in a night where the games have been very, very close and where lack of engage has caused a lot of these games to go really late.
Yep.
This one ends much, much faster, and you can see that it's the engage power that really gets you there. This time it's Protoss proto belting in, trying to get the
Yep.
knockups, trying to find a pick on the Phi Mini, but the follow up there right away, Cryogen and Kisno are into the back line. They set up for Shogo to invert the fight, Killer Instinct into the back line. He executes enthralled. Shochi's stuck topside. It's an easy fight for them from there.
Yep, they are able to find such a good fight at that point. And one good thing about that fight as well for Team A was that Shochu was nowhere near, right? If you have the 6 there with the lockdown that Protoss was able to give, maybe the damage from the 6 is able to provide more utility for Enthralled and U13 there. But sadly, because there were less members in that position and some of them died really quickly, you weren't able to really find the right angle for Process engaged to really make a difference in that situation. It really could have worked out different depending on who was there or not, but I really like the way the teammates still just forced the play, able to find the right angles, and Cryogen and Skizno just being as effective as possible in those engaged champions as well.
Yeah, certainly. Another great showing from some of the top prospects here at the Saito Combine, adding to their resumes with only
Yep.
a couple days left to go until they determine who will be joining the crew out in California for the in person boot camp. Everybody wanting to get their names on that list, wanting the further opportunities afforded by it, and seeing how far they can take their careers following a solid performance here. So it's been a joy to check out so far. There's still a few days left, so stay tuned to the Blue Otter channels where we will be broadcasting each and every game for the remainder of the Cedo Combine. But that is going to do it for today's broadcast. So thank you, everybody at home, for joining us for tonight's series. Even the longer games, even the longer breaks. It's been a party to have everybody here. Stream will be back tomorrow with another set of matches. Until then, we will see everybody later and have yourselves a great night.